like iron from the fire, getting stronger. This is how legends are made. Above it all, untouchable, a new animal. This is how legends are made.
You are currently tuned in to TwinTitans Sport Network. What's Shakin' Titans will start shortly. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to What's Shakin' Titans. I'm your host, Gary Bailey, and joining me right over here, we got your co-hosts, Matthew Massey and Matthew Maddox, guys, a.k.a. Blueface there. So, without further ado, we just want to take the time to thank everybody for joining What's Shakin' Titans live on What's Shakin' Titans on YouTube, as well as, guys, the TwinTitans Sport Network for hosting us. Without further ado, welcome into the Las Fajitas Studios. Guys, how's it going? How's everything hanging lately, boys?
Good. Matt, you having audio issues? You having audio issues?
Not able to hear. I'm not sure what's going on. I can't hear you all at all. I can hear myself on the mic though, so I'm not sure what's going on.
We'll check it out, bro.
Okay, so while he's getting that fixed up, guys, we have an awesome, really entertaining, jam-packed show for you. We're going to be unpacking the draft. We're going to go over coaching staff as well as OTAs, mini camps. We're going to give hot takes and predictions. Before we get started, though, let's give out a quick shout-out to all of our sponsors. What's Shakin' Titans, as always, is powered by Bailey's Barbecue. Bailey's Barbecue, smoking good barbecue. And then definitely go check out Temu. Temu, you can use code TAN83620 and get 30% off site-wide. But if you're new, click on the description below. You can follow the link in the description, and you'll receive a $100 coupon bundle off of anything site-wide. So it's definitely worth your time. So I definitely suggest, taking the time to go over there and to check that out, guys. And then we also have Luke's Breakfast and Burgers. Guys, definitely go check out Luke's Breakfast and Burger, located in Dixon, Tennessee at 255 Dixon Plaza Drive. Hours are pulled up on the screen. They have some of the best burgers in Tennessee. So definitely go check them out.
Yo.
Okay.
Then our main sponsor here, sorry for the little hiccup there. Our main sponsor, Las Fajitas, is also located in Dixon, Tennessee. Guys, tomorrow's Father's Day, so real quick, huge shout out to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day. Definitely go to Las Fajitas. It's 50% off everything on the menu for all fathers, so definitely go check them out. And then, guys, with that being said, Massey, are you good, bro? Here we go. Let's fix that.
Yeah, it's still muted.
Oh my God,
There you go, bro.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you
Yeah,
now.
we got
Can you
you.
hear us?
All right. Yes, I can hear you now. Sorry about that, guys.
No,
All
you're
right.
good, bro.
You're all good. You're all good. It happens.
Oh
All right,
my
guys.
God.
So let's get into it. So last time y'all seen us was right before the draft, but we're back. We're back at it. Guys, just want to thank y'all for taking the time to join us once again. Maddox,
You know what?
and
I'm
Blue,
gonna jump off
or
for you. Do
Blueface
you have
and
any more?
Massey. Guys, I love y'all.
Oh,
I'm
no,
so
it's
glad to
okay.
have
You're
y'all
right,
part of the
guys.
show.
I'm just
True
sitting
OG
here. I'm
group
just
right
waiting for
here.
you. I'm not going about that.
With that being
Yes,
said,
sir.
with that being said, let's hop into the draft real quick. So, Titans draft in the first round, J.C. Latham, offensive tackle out of Alabama. Second round, they go Tavondre Sweat, defensive tackle, Texas. With the fourth round pick, we go Cedric Gray, linebacker, UNC. With the sixth round, we go Jarvis Brownlee Jr., cornerback, Louisville. With the second sixth round pick, we go Jaquan Jackson, wide receiver, Tulane. With the first seventh round pick, we go James Williams, linebacker, Miami. And then with the final pick of the draft for the Tennessee Titans, we go Jalen, I believe his last name is spelled or pronounced Harrell. Y'all can correct
Harrell.
me if Harrell if I'm wrong on that. So,
I
but
believe it's
guys,
Harrell.
what stood out the most for you in this draft?
I'm at the top. I'm the host.
I don't know, man. For me, it's probably that fourth round pick. I thought Cedric Gray was a really good pickup. The linebacker department was kind of needed some help. That's a fresh young piece that we can bring in to develop with with a good core, around him. I've seen some video of Jack Gibbons and on how he's been trying to compete for that linebacker spot while also trying to show Cedric Gray the ropes and stuff like that. I think that was a really good pick, for where we got him in the draft. Um, the most one, the best one for me, I feel like was Tavondre Sweat. I thought that was just that fills that hole that Autry was there now. So like I like that one probably more than I do the Cedric Gray one, but the Cedric Gray one was definitely a big one too there in the fourth round.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. And I know this is probably off the rocker compared to what most Titans fans feel, but I feel like J.C. Latham was a good pickup for sure. Obviously with him going as high as he did, so I know the confusion is with where he's going to actually start. You know what I mean? Compared to where he played in college, but this is the NFL, so people have to kind of like switch up positions, and he's going to have to learn a new playbook and everything like that. So, I know I watched some videos from Bill Callahan, the offensive line coach, with his new dummy. I forget what it's called. The
Yeah,
workout
the
machine they use out there on the field. And JC
Bertha.
really was like,
Yeah.
yeah, Big Bertha or whatever it is.
Big
But yeah,
Bertha.
so Latham really showed that he was gonna figure out how to get things done right then and there when he was one of the first ones to figure out Callahan's new toys. So I'm really excited about that pick. And, like you both said, I think we made some really good picks in the draft. Going back to our last episode, the pre-draft, I think it is what it was. We were all pretty close, on our prediction picks, as far as whether they were going to go offense or defense back and forth. So I thought that was pretty cool too. And yeah, I think Rand Carthon and Brian Callahan, they're bulling up something right here, so I'm pretty excited, especially after the draft, to see what we can do on the field.
I was honestly surprised about the JC Latham pick. I didn't think it was gonna go that way. I didn't think there was a chance that we were gonna go JC Latham. I didn't think that was one of the cards, but uh,
Yeah,
there
because
was earlier shows where I had honestly endorsed J.C. Latham, coming from Alabama, a run heavy offense and stuff like that. Those are offensive lines that are established already, and stuff like that. Those guys are ready to play under a good offensive line coach. Of course, if you have the right coach to help him get to that next level. And like you were saying, I think Bill Callahan is that guy. And he's got some good building pieces there. Cushenberry was a huge free agent signing for us. Skronsky was, a great pickup last year in the draft, at that guard spot now. And then you put, Latham beside him. That builds, half of that wall there. And like, he's just a, good coach. I mean, in his department for that offensive line. So he'll be able to, develop that other side, I feel like. He'll be all right there.
yeah, I definitely agree. We all picked an offensive lineman going, first overall. I think we all were going for Joe Alt, but unfortunately he got snagged up 2 picks before we picked. And I can't complain. I think J.C. Latham once again is, going to be a stud for the Tennessee Titans. I know a lot of people were concerned because he's coming out of Alabama playing right tackle. The big thing I want to note is that when he was in high school, he started out playing left tackle, then they got moved to right tackle when he got to Alabama, and then to what Massey and Maddox was also saying is we got a coach in Bill Callahan who is notorious from being able to take right tackles and move them to left tackles, and they actually have really good success in the NFL. So I'm very pleased with that pick. And then the biggest one for me was Sweat, man. I think Sweat is going to be an awesome addition to the Tennessee Titans. You put him right there with Harold Landry, Big Jeff, all those guys up front, and they're going to wreak havoc, man. Like, this is a big dude. This defensive line just got solidified in my eyes. So I'm really excited to see that. And then, of course, you add to the mix all the free agents that we signed, and I think we're poised to have a top 4 or 5 defense this year. Is what I'm hoping for. But with that being said, let me ask y'all both this: what grades would you give the Tennessee Titans for their overall draft?
Go ahead, man.
That's a good one. That's a good question. I'm gonna say before, just seeing the little bit of mini camps and OTAs and things that we've seen as fans, so far, I'm gonna say it's got to be every bit of a B plus to an A. You know what I mean, or A minus. But that's just, that's a good question because it's only so far into having these new additions to the team. So yeah, I'm gonna go solid right here and go a strong B plus slash A minus. And man, I hope they prove me either right in a good way or even wrong to where it's in an even better way. So, what about you, Blue? What's your grade?
I don't have any, disagreements with the draft. Really, I think it was an A plus. They addressed, the majority of the need there in the first round, getting that guy who can play that left tackle position, and J.C. Latham. You get, Autry, who was, a guy who was, a fundamental piece for our defense. That was, our front four was, the reason why people feared this team. You couldn't run the ball against us. We're going to put pressure on you. You got to get the ball out quick. So you replace Autry with Sweat there. Of course, we lost, a linebacker who broke the tackle record in one season. So you got to replace that. So you bring in a young core guy with Cedric Gray because you didn't have that third round pick. So you go get him in that fourth round. So I don't really have any disagreements, and I think they filled a lot of gaps and holes and got some pieces. The wide receiver that they got late in the draft, he's a super speedy guy. I know he's a seventh round pick, but with the new kickoff rule implemented and stuff like that, that guy could be a dangerous returner. So I think that they filled, necessary holes and stuff like that. So I give them an A plus, man. I think it was a great draft.
Yeah,
Nice.
I have to agree with you. I think it was definitely a great draft by the Titans here. We kind of stuck to our guns and we picked where we needed to pick. And that was key for us is, making sure that we got, certain positions addressed, definitely in the O line, but also, in regards to finding somebody to help take the load off of Big Jeff. I liked it. We've heard some good stuff come out about, the new wide receiver Jackson, which we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, I have to say I have to give them about anywhere between a B plus to a A minus, anywhere between there. I mean, it was a good draft all overall for the Titans. Um, why do you feel like your draft grade is spot on? Can I ask y'all that?
Because I know everything, bro. Like, duh. Like, I'm never wrong. The last time I was wrong, bro, I wasn't right. So, and that didn't feel right. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking. No, man, it's just I don't know if I feel that confident in it yet that that a B plus or A minus is where to go. But that's just really kind of just my sole opinion off of what I've been able to see from the draft, from interviews with Bill Callahan or Rand Carthon or things like that. So um, I like going with that because it gives me like a security blanket. Like I said, if they do better than the A minus, then freaking awesome, But if they only do like a B plus, with their draft picks and the free agency signings, then I'm also kind of like right there in the middle. So that's the reason I went with my grade.
Yeah. And then, guys, real quick, want to address this real fast. When Blue was pulled up, and to his screen right now that it's on. And when we started out, it did say co-host Lee Hillis, but it is not Lee Hillis. This is Matthew Maddox. It is fixed now. So, Blue, I do apologize for that. I know that's
Nah, you
probably
good, bro.
eating
They
you
know who I
alive.
am. They knew who I am. I
Yeah.
promise you that.
I'm about to say that's Blueface. Everybody
That's
knows
Blue.
who that is. They said, "No, that ain't Lee Hillis.
That's
That's
no Lee
Blueface."
Hillis.
It's just the off season beard and hair, y'all.
No, hey, man, hey, it is
cleaned
not
up
Blue
before game.
anymore. It is Matt Ron Keith. Matt Ron Keith is his new name.
Mike Keith's lost son. I think my mom met him like almost 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Huh? Crazy. The math.
The Matt.
The Matt.
Crazy the Matt there.
So, with that being said, let's go into winners and losers of the 2024 draft. Who do y'all have as winners, and who do y'all have as the biggest losers through the 2024 draft?
Falcons, losers.
Falcons are losers.
Losers.
What about you, Massey?
Well, I mean, Carolina, and the Cardinals to me both lost too because like what'd you do?
Well,
You know what I
Cardinals
mean?
got
Like,
Harrison Jr.
okay, all right. Well, I'll take that, but like,
The
what
Packers
else?
draft
You
was,
know what
the
I'm saying?
Packers draft was crap.
So, and it's crazy to say that because you could almost even say maybe the Bears. Even I know they got Caleb Williams, but what else are they going to have to put? Because we've talked about it. It's not just one player. It can't just be one player. Yes, one player can make a hell of a difference, but is it going to get you to a playoff run consistently? Championship runs consistently. It's to be determined because
I
that's
ain't gonna go there
tough
with
to
the
do.
Bears yet because they do got a loaded roster. I'll give the Bears that, man. They got some dudes over there with some veteran status. They got Caleb Williams. He's supposed to be a promising quarterback, so see what he does. I'm sure Jeffrey Simmons gonna snap him in half week 1, but we're gonna see what happens with that.
I would say
think
Carolina
the biggest
definitely.
loser of the draft, guys, and you look at the offseason as a whole and everything. Biggest loser this offseason, I feel like, has been the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh, talk about it.
I don't think they've done really much of anything at all. And then like their first round pick, I couldn't tell you anything about, like nothing, like at all. Like I'm pretty sure they traded back.
While we're on the subject of the Dallas Cowboys, do you think that they re-signed Dak Prescott again? No?
No.
Okay, so there was a report, and I'm not sure who put it out there, but there's a report that if Will Levis was not to pan out for the Titans, that there was a chance the Titans would go after Dak Prescott. How would y'all feel if that was the case?
I say right now, I don't want him.
I agree.
And that's because I personally can't think past what I got to witness from Will Levis being thrown into the fire last season and the potential that gives, or the hope that gives me for his potential this coming season and many seasons forward. So as far as Dak Prescott goes, man, he'll probably, and I mean no disrespect to any NFL fans or any NFL people watching this, but I feel like eventually Dak Prescott is going to end up being another, maybe Deshaun Watson just ends up, if it's not the Browns, it'll be Washington, or
well, if
I know
I'm
that's
correct,
a rival team for them. But
if I'm correct, didn't Deshaun Watson make it to a couple championships under the Texans?
Watson,
yeah,
championships. I don't know.
I don't know how many he's made.
I don't think Dak Prescott hasn't made it to a championship. He's made it to the playoffs, but lost. If I'm correct.
Yeah. I mean, if we're comparing,
so that's
comparing.
Yeah.
I was about to say that's even giving Dak Prescott more, or that's giving Deshaun Watson even more of a leeway than it is.
I would say
Dak.
I would compare Dak Prescott to like a Josh Freeman or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's how he'll end up. Like a Vince Young type guy. Like he's never gonna be. I don't think he's ever gonna be that guy to get you over.
Like an Alex Smith or something like that.
Bowl, so.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I said that about Deshaun as well. That's why I used that comparison, because Deshaun really hasn't done that either. He's never he's maybe gotten him to it, but he's never gotten over that hump.
Can we say he's just another Ryan Tannehill?
I'm out of the Will Levis hate talk though, bro, because I don't know where it comes from. You know what I'm saying? For me in particular, bro, he progressed in every game that he played last year. Yeah, he had bad moments as a rookie quarterback, a fucking rookie quarterback in the NFL and National Football League, bro. Man, hang him out to dry, bro. He's done for. He's trash, bro. He's never gonna learn anything. Nah, bro. He developed right before our eyes all season, and he got better and better as the season went on. It's not his fault the offensive line, couldn't hold paper inside of a cup, bro. That's not his problem, bro. They just couldn't do anything last year. And
I think
you had one guy. You had one guy to throw to. You had D-Hop.
I think nationally, their perspective is, we know that Will Levis is capable, and we'll kind of get into this a little bit later. But nationally, I feel like their point of view is we've seen him make all those deep shots, which is awesome. He has the arm strength and the arm talent. We all know that. There's no doubting that. Go and watch his first start. 4 touchdowns against the Falcons. Lobbing balls down the field like it was nothing. Their biggest, concerns from what I've gathered nationally is, what about them short passes? What about the intermediate passes? And then when you get to talking about that, you have to include the struggles of the O-line and then, what receivers we had on the roster last year, and not only that, but then, the type of plays that, Tim Kelly was forced to call because the offensive line wasn't able to hold up. So, it's not like they were able to go out here and, play to the full playbook last year because we had no offensive line. We had to pull tight ends in.
Core was the worst at getting separation against man coverage.
Most definitely.
You added Calvin Ridley this offseason. He was one of the top guys. He is always, like, his whole career that he's played, he's been one of the top guys at getting that separation. He gets open and he secures the catches, in that single coverage. He's able to get off the line quick. He's able to run quick short routes and stuff like that. That's going to give Levis that other piece that he needs. You added Tyler Boyd into that as well now, so he's got a really solid core around him. He's got a bunch of fundamental pieces. I don't think that there's an argument on paper. In paper, like you and me were talking about earlier, Gary, paper's all we have right now.
Yep.
We don't know what's going to happen. We've never seen any of this stuff. Like, this is a brand new offense, brand new team, all that stuff, guys. Brand new defense, coaching staff from top to bottom. So, we don't know what's going to – so all we have is what's on paper, and right now it looks pretty fucking good on paper.
Yeah. It looks damn good on paper.
It really does. Real quick, guys, want to give a huge shout-out to Michael Bishop from the Power Hour. Thank you for taking the time to tune in to What's Shakin' Titans. We appreciate it. Definitely, comment in the comments. Let us know. Right now, guys, we just recapped the draft. So Bishop, let me know what grade do you give the Titans for their draft, and then we're gonna get into the coaching staff here shortly. But Massey, I'm gonna give you the floor real quick to kind of respond to what Maddox was saying.
About which part?
Where I was saying everything looks good on paper right now, that's all.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
but I did it.
Yeah, like I just said, it looks damn good on paper, and then it kind of goes back to what I've been saying, leading into the end of last season and all these things. We weren't going to know what Will Levis was going to look like until he was put out there, and then we got to physically see it. So it kind of just wraps around exactly what you just said, Maddox. It definitely looks great on paper, but we're not going to actually get to witness this stuff until we see it in the preseason and things like that. And then I'll also bring back up what I've said the last couple of recent episodes on What's Shakin'. I'm super excited, and I hope that, what is on paper goes out there and is on the field. We're going to know the first couple of preseason games. I know that probably sounds crazy, but that's literally what preseason games are for, is to go through those sequences 1, 2, and 3. And then you play certain players, you keep certain players out, whatever the case is. So we're going to know, especially I feel like after week 3 or week 4 of the regular season, how the rest of this season is going to turn out. And, I know I probably sound like a broken record by now, but we're going to get to know by then. I feel like everybody, especially us three, will have our opinion as far as what the rest of the season is going to look like after that. So, yeah, hopefully they take what's on paper and make it look good on the field for sure.
Yeah,
I like Bishop's grade, man. Bishop over in the Power Hour in the comments gives it a grade S for sexy. I like that.
How you talking?
Yeah.
I like it. Hey, I want to throw something to you guys, man, before we move on with the next topic or whatever we're doing. Shout out to the Titans Coliseum podcast, Firestone, Morocco, RJ, all them dudes over there, man. They cook it up every week, man, every time they go live, man. So if y'all ain't already following them or subscribe to them, you should have checked them dudes out. Last night on their show, man, they were going over the odds to win the division, AFC South, percentage-wise. And right now the Titans have a 5% chance to win the division. So there's got the Colts above them, then the Jaguars, and then, of course, the Houston Texans. I'm gonna get y'all's opinions on that. I think that's ridiculous, man. That you got the damn Colts ranked above the fucking Titans, man. They don't even know if AR is gonna be a quarterback this season or not. They don't know what he's gonna do, man. He ain't played enough to even be ranked as a top 32 quarterback, in my opinion. So, Titans 5% chance to win the AFC South this year, man. Gary, I'm gonna throw it to you first, bro. What you think about that?
Man, this is going to be a tricky one to answer without giving away, our record predictions and thoughts on that.
I mean, as far as the national media goes, that's the percentages.
I'm not too far off from them. I think the Titans are not going to come dead last in the division. I think that will either be the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Colts. And that's really all I can say right now without kind of breaking down what I'm going to talk about later. So just stay tuned, guys, because we got a lot of great topics where we're going to really dive in depth on record prediction, playoff predictions, stat predictions, stuff like that. So just definitely stay tuned. But Massey, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think that's bullcrap. That's a terrible ranking. I mean, I'm joking, but I'm dead ass. Like that's horrible, man. You can't. I mean, I know we and that's crazy to say just right after we just said, oh, everything sounds good on paper. But come on, man. Put the Colts
That's what
on
I'm
us?
saying.
That
I don't
just
know
hurt.
where you get that from. I don't know where you can look at the Titans' schedule this year, man, and you gonna tell me we're only favored in one game against the Patriots at home? That don't make no sense to me, man. It don't stack up on paper like that, bro.
Yeah.
Not to me, at least.
That's
No.
the national media for
We
you,
don't-
man.
we
Like,
play better as the underdog. We're always getting hate on by the national media.
Massey went to timeout.
Uh-oh. Blacked out. Anyway, but yeah, man, we always receive that hate from the national media, man. Disrespect all year. We can't never get none of our props when we're winning, man. It's always, well, they're just, this fluke team getting lucky and blah, 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 man. But it ain't finna go like that this year, y'all. It's a whole different story this year. They better watch out. We coming for them, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
I'm too confident in this team to be okay with that power ranking. And there's probably going to be a lot of them down the road from now until the beginning of the season that I'm not going to be okay with. But I'm still going to stand behind our two-tone blue Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, and for me right now, to sit there and go ahead before, we've even had one preseason game to see any of these new players or the new teams or new direction coaches are taking certain teams. To sit there and give a division ranking on who can make the playoffs or a power ranking or anything like that, it's just kind of far-fetched for me. Because everything, like we said, once again, is just paper, And we can go throughout history and how many times have certain teams looked phenomenal on papers and they actually blew it throughout the regular seasons. It's happened. So to sit there and go ahead and to make a true judgment off of that, it's hard. Now, of course, it's just a prediction, and that's why I say, right now you got to take these predictions with a grain of salt, because preseason's gonna come, and then once you get through like the first 3 games of the regular season, you're gonna know what kind of team you got. You're gonna know if they're gonna be capable of improving or not, and that's when you can really start making those judgments, based off of the knowledge that you've already gathered through that time. But with that being said, guys, want to take the time to say that this episode of What's Shakin' Titans is powered by Bailey's Barbecue. Bailey's Barbecue, smoking good barbecue. And then, guys, go check out Las Fajitas in Dixon, Tennessee. Tomorrow is Father's Day. They're offering 50% off. Fathers eat only 50% off. So definitely go. It'll be all day. Go check them out. You can also call them and order delivery at 615-446-0252. And then, guys, if you're also in Dixon and you're not in the mood for Mexican, but you want something like burgers or breakfast, definitely go check out Luke's Breakfast and Burgers. They're also located in Dixon, Tennessee at 255 Dixon Plaza Drive, Dixon, Tennessee 37055. The hours are pulled up on the screen currently. And then once more, guys, if you are new to Temu and you want to receive a coupon bundle That gives you a $100 coupon bundle. Follow the link in the description below, or you can use code TAN83620 to get 30% off site-wide. And with that being said, guys, let's get back at it. So, let's go into the coaching staff, because I think this is really important for the Tennessee Titans moving forward, especially after we've seen, Mike Vrabel, in his tenure over the last few years. And, not trying to take anything away from Mike Vrabel. He was a great head coach for us. But let's get into the new hires and the new coaches. In y'all's opinion, who was the best hire this offseason?
I definitely like the fact that they brought Brian's dad in, Bill. I know I've mentioned that on previous episodes as well. I can say that I've been listening to the radio pretty often, and the running backs coach made me really excited when not only did he talk really good about Tajay and Pollard, felt like they would gel really good together. He was also talking about a third string quarterback being able to gel really good with them too as well. He didn't specifically name a third string that he had in mind. He was keeping it open for basically a third string battle position between the running backs that we have on the roster right now. Um, so I really thought that was awesome. So the running back coach sounds really good. And then another thing that I had heard on the radio, which I really liked, was an interview with our, I don't know if it's I believe it's our DC, our defensive coordinator. He said that there will be no more off coverage plays. The Titans will not be playing off coverage defense with our cornerbacks. Our cornerbacks will press
Lord,
almost
baby
every
Jesus.
single play, if not every play. So yeah, that's got to be a great sign that's going to be implemented into our defense, because I know us three, and many other Titans fans all around the world. Every time it happened last season, the season before, why is he 10 yards off? They literally need 10 yards to get the first down, and the dude's 10 yards off of him. Somebody press that man. Like all that energy was going out into the TV, and now we finally got a coach that sees that. So the running back coach and the defensive coordinator made me really excited hearing those two interviews from them. What about you, Blue? What you think?
Yeah, I like the Denard Wilson hire. I thought that was a good one. Former secondary coach and stuff like that. Coming in and taking over the defense, that was a major part of our defense that was lacking. So I definitely like the Denard Wilson hire. I really feel like Brian Callahan was the ultimate, golden egg, the diamond there, that we kind of pulled out. I think that put everything together. It made it more of a desirable, destination. I've said it on the Titans Coliseum podcast. Like coaches and players didn't want to come here. They didn't want to be in the culture that Mike Vrabel had created here. There was video, that surfaced this week of the Titans at practice out there shooting around hoops and stuff. Like the culture's changed. Like these guys are having fun. It's not about, like, oh, work. They're definitely out there grinding, guys, and like getting ready for the season. But like, it's more of, a family-oriented culture and stuff like that now, and like I think that's good for the overall team. So I feel like Brian Callahan, like in himself, was probably like the huge diamond. But like I said, if I had to break it down and get away from that, I'd probably agree with Massey and go with the Denard Wilson hire, just because that secondary is kind of young and it was kind of scattered out. So now you get Snead and Awuzie, and McCreary, somebody to kind of, build off of and stuff like that. I know Snead's already, a polished vet and stuff like that. Awuzie was great in, Cincinnati. McCreary, he was great last season. I think really your big, flaws are in that back with Bolden and Hooker. Can Hooker step up and, take over that true one spot this season, where like Kevin Byard left halfway through, like, last year, and he had to kind of step up and take over that role, and he got majority of, that playing time. Being that number one guy back there. So, it's going to be a lot on can Hooker step up and can Molden play well. I still think the Titans address, the safety issue or somewhere, before the season starts, somehow, however they do that. But as it sits, like we said on paper, it's Molden and Hooker back there right now. So I feel like Denard Wilson would probably be like my pick if I had to go away from Brian Callahan, just to develop those two guys even further.
Yeah, and then I have to agree with both of you guys. I mean, great takes there. Love them. For me personally, if you go back and you watch any of our episodes last year, I was preaching it. It starts from the top and works its way down. And so for me, the most important hire was Brian Callahan, somebody who can come in here, get along with, our general manager, and, have a particular vision that he wants to achieve, and I think that, in doing so, once you got that, then we got lucky and fortunate enough to get, Bill Callahan, one of the greatest O-line coaches in our generation. So, I'm really excited about that. I think, Callahan is going to bring a lot to this team offensively and defensively, just, from his experience through the past. But yeah, for me, the most important hire has to be Brian Callahan. With that, we know that we have a new offense and defensive scheme. We kind of talked about it a little bit. Massey kind of hit on it. So with that being said, what are y'all more excited to see, the new defensive scheme or the new offensive scheme?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I was
New
about to say, go ahead,
offense.
Blue. That's a good
New
question.
offense, no question, man. For me, I mean, I like our defense. Like, I've loved our defense. Like, defense has always been super exciting to me. Like, I'm a huge Jeffrey Simmons fan. Was a huge KB fan. That's one of my favorite Titans players of all time. So I've always been, huge on defense. Blaine Bishop was a really good defensive player, back in the older days. Players like that, Cortland Finnegan. Like, I love guys that hit people. Like, that's what I like to do when I was in middle school. I wanted to hit somebody. Like, I wanted to tackle people. I didn't want to get tackled. I wanted to hit somebody else. So I've always been huge on defense, but like Titans have been lacking guys in offensive production for the past 2-3 seasons now. So I'm excited to see this new offense. Going back into the coaching staff hires, Nick Holes was huge for the progression of Will Levis and stuff like that, coming out of Jacksonville, their passing game coordinator, and taking over the offense. A guy that completely changed the scheme of this thing to where him and Brian Callahan have had more passing snaps in a single day of practice than past regimens have had in a whole week. So it's definitely going to be a high-powered, explosive offense. I feel like we're going to be a fast and quick offense that's going to try to score and put points up fast and get ahead of you early on, and then just kind of beat you down the rest of the game with our defense. But yeah, I think it's all gas, no brakes on the offense. So I'm excited to see what Will Levis and this new wide receiver core and new running back duo can do this year for sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree with that. Gary, did you want to go first?
No, go ahead, brother.
You want to go? All right. Yeah, I gotta agree. The offense is definitely going to be more exciting for me as well. I will say though, I'm excited to see what kind of help Joseph Day can bring with Big Jeff, Harold Landry, and things like that. So, it's kind of like a curveball right here. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Joseph Day is actually going to be uh, a really good defensive piece for us, and he's not really necessarily spoken about as much as I think that he will be going into like halfway through the season. So with that and the defensive coordinator not allowing off plays by the cornerbacks, and they're pressuring and they're going to be jammed up every play. I'm really excited to see that. But like Blue said over here, I'm super excited to see what the running back duo can do, the wide receiver trio, and I'm also excited to see if our second year tight end is going to do any better, or show any type of progression, and then maybe see if Chick can have a good third or fourth season, whatever. I think it'd be third season with us. So
yeah. Last year was
yeah,
the sophomore slumps.
Yeah, to compare the both, I'm definitely more excited to see the offense, but I'm looking forward to the defense to give us that type of excitement too. Kind of like Blue just said at the end of the game, seal the deal and turnovers, or just get stops that we need, and then get the ball back in our quarterback's hand and go from there.
Yeah, and, both of y'all had great takes once again. Love them. I think it's really hard for me to sit here and say, I think offense is going to be more exciting, or I'm more excited to see the offense, or I'm more excited to see the defense. To be honest, I'm kind of split on it. Offensively, I would love to be able to see us start driving the ball down the field consistently, game in and game out, and put up more than 16 points a game. So that's going to be exciting to see. Defense, if I had to lean a particular way, I would have to lean towards defense. And the reason why is we spent the last 3 years, and you can say the same thing about the offense, but we spent the last 3 years, watching teams throw the ball over our head consistently. And, our defensive front would struggle, sometimes from game to game, being able to pressure the quarterback or, we always had a great run defense, So I'm really excited with, the addition of Sweat and Big Jeff, and then you got L'Jarius Sneed in the backfield. I'm really excited to see this defense get out there and get to work. And then, you talk about the new rule change, for defensive players and, how you can't hip tackle no more. So that's going to be really interesting. And I was thinking of this while we were talking, but more than offense and defense, I am more curious and more excited to see how the special teams is going to play out with the new kickoff rules and the potential no chain gang this season. I'm really curious to see that. So, that could be a,
Why don't
something.
you ask Traylon himself how it's going?
But, that could be something that, we could put in there in that mix too, as special teams. But with
Excited
that
to see
being
Ryan
said,
Stonehouse back on the field for sure.
oh yeah, for sure.
Excited to get Stonehouse back. That'll be dope.
And speaking of Stonehouse, and Will Levis and the offense and the special teams, the most important thing to me is Bill Callahan and what he means to this Titans offensive line and, the special teams line, to be able to protect our kicker from getting hit, to be able to protect our quarterback from getting destroyed every snap,
Big Bertha.
Yeah, Bertha, and I think the other one was Ogla or something like that.
Omaha.
Omaha. But yeah, in your eyes, guys, what does Bill Callahan mean to the Tennessee Titans offensive line?
Everything. No, he does mean a lot. Yeah, I mean, for one, that's his job. Two, like you both mentioned earlier in the episode, he is literally one of the best, or if not the best, offensive lineman coach in the NFL. And now he's the Tennessee Titans. So it's got to mean a lot for the players, just like it probably means a lot for Bill to be over here, and then to be in a position to take this team from what they've been the last 2 to 3 seasons very bad at, which is offensive line, and then take them and turn that around. So it's got to be just as important to the players to have a coach like him that it is for him to be their coach and try and turn this thing around for the whole organization.
Yeah,
Blue,
I
what about
agree,
you?
Man. Yeah, Blue, what's your thoughts?
I mean, obviously, he's Bill Callahan. We know who he is. We know, his track record and all that stuff. So I think that all speaks for itself, and like what he brings to the table for the team, and like as far as development of players and stuff like that. I think Charles would probably be one of the starters for Week 1 on that offensive line. I'm not sure if he'll play guard or tackle, but I think Charles was, one of the guys that ran Carthon's come up, and he's endorsed, a couple times publicly and stuff like that. So that was one of his free agent signings that I feel like he's going to bring in, and like we're going to have him as a starter on day 1. I don't think MPF starts day 1, and I don't think Brunskill starts day 1. I think you get Radens and Charles on the line on the other side of Cushenberry.
Yeah, I could see that. I really could. I don't think we see NPF start this year.
Nah.
That's
there's
just
no way NPF starts. But I just can't.
Especially
I can't see that.
with how much everybody has improved throughout the OTAs and minicamp, which we'll get into in just a minute.
Can't put Buzzkill out there neither.
Yeah,
Brunskill, my bad.
Brunskill,
Buzzkill, whatever you want to call it.
Buzzkill.
You can't put him
Buzzkill.
But while we're talking about Bill Callahan, I know that he actually just recently won a Lifetime Achievement Award for assistant head coach, being an assistant coach, I'm sorry, and just being able to, affect players' lives and help them move in a positive direction, not only in the game of football, but also after the game of football. So definitely want to tip the hat, to Bill for that one. And
Let's go,
then,
Bill.
yeah, and then
Hey, while we're
lastly,
speaking of Bills,
go ahead.
Bill Belichick has a new girlfriend.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
That ex cheerleader,
Like 26-year-old ex cheerleader or something to that effect. It's crazy, man. Crazy.
I went to school with that girl, man. That's wild. Chill out, Bill. It could be her daddy, bro. Her grandpa, probably.
Great grandpa, more like it.
Shit, crazy.
Feels like he's been in the NFL forever.
For real, though.
All right, guys. Last question, regarding the coaching staff here is can Coach Callie take the Titans further than Mike Vrabel?
It's possible.
And if so, or
I'm
if
confident
not,
he can.
explain why.
I'm confident that he can do better than Vrabel and quicker than Vrabel did it. I know that probably
100%.
sounds crazy. Yeah, I know it probably sounds crazy to some, and that's not me knocking Vrabel. I was on Vrabel's side for the longest, probably just like everybody else as a Titans fan until you weren't. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how that goes. But and it's crazy that there's still Vrabel talks even as far as the Titans go, in my opinion. But yeah, man, to answer your question 100%, I feel like Callahan has more of the all around head coaching type of feel where we knew what Vrabel was coming in here. He played defense, he coached defense up until he was a head coach. That's what was his main focus, and eventually that showed. So I'm gonna say, yeah, man, Bill can do better, will do better, and he'll even do it faster, in my opinion.
Dang, real fast. I got to pull this up because this is hilarious. So shout out to Michael Bishop for this comment. He said and this is back to Bill Bill Belichick. He said they say he's robbing a cradle, but she might be robbing graves.
That's funny.
Ah,
That is funny.
let's go.
I like that.
Oh, that's a good one.
No, I think he does. I agree with you, Matt. I think he does it. I think he does it faster than, the turnaround with Vrabel and stuff like that. I think that we win a Super Bowl with Callahan. I think that it's within this first year and two. Like, honestly, guys, I think that this could be the year that the Titans do win the Super Bowl. People are fucking sleeping on us, man. It ain't time to sleep on the Titans. I don't know why the rest of the division's sitting here laughing like we ain't doing nothing, like they ain't sitting there worried about it, man. They tripping is what that is, bro. They trying to hide that they scared, man. They know what's up over here, bro. They know that we done built a loaded roster, bro. We ain't got not one person. We got 2, 3, 4, 5. However many times LeBron said they was going to win the championships with the Heat. That's what we finna do here in Tennessee, bro. It's that kind of roster, bro. It's loaded up, bro. Like, give us a couple weeks in that preseason to build that chemistry out there. Let these starters go out there and play. Don't be like Mike Vrabel and not put your starters out there, but to hand the ball off 3 times, then walk off the field week 3, and then he comes out week 1 and throws 3 interceptions versus the Saints, bro. We ain't doing that this year. Get these guys out there, let them build that chemistry in a real game situation against some actual other teams, man, that are trying to compete. Once we get that chemistry going, man, it's over with. It's like learning the controls to a video game, man. Once you learn the controls, man, you start playing around, man. Me and Massey be playing Rocket League. I don't know if anybody plays Rocket League, but y'all hit me up in the DMs if y'all play Rocket League. Get your ass whooped. Nah, but hey, once you start learning those controls, you start figuring out the game better, man. You realize, like how to play it and how to get out of different situations and stuff like that. That's
And
what
it
we're
just
going to see a
becomes
lot
muscle
of this
memory.
year, guys. Is in-game adjustments and stuff like that. The running back coach has come out and said, it's not a running back 1 or a running back 2. He's coached guys like Adrian Peterson and stuff, and those guys come to the sideline. If there's another guy in there that's hot right now, he's like, man, leave him in, man. He is killing it, bro. Like, he's on fire right now. Like, he's in the game. He's in the zone. So I'm all for this stuff, bro. Like, I think that this could be the year that the Titans actually go to the Super Bowl and win it, man. And, like, it'd be historic, man. Like, I don't think that you could tell me a better turnaround of a team in one off season than that. I just don't think that you could, man. That would probably mark this team as a historic, a historic run.
Yeah, and in my opinion, first of all, to kind of touch on something Massey said earlier, he don't understand why people are still talking about Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel, when he came in here, the state of the franchise was not in a good place. It was getting to a better place, but and some people's eyes, it still wasn't in a good place. So Mike Vrabel did change a lot of things around for the Titans organization. However, when you talk about, can Coach Callie take the Titans further than Mike Vrabel did, 100%, I think he can. Do I think it'll happen this year? In my opinion, I don't think it will happen this year. I think you're looking next year and the year after when we start to really, contend for Super Bowls and stuff like that. And we'll, like I said, we'll get more into this a little bit later. I think this year we see growth. We see growth from offense to defense to special teams. You're gonna see people start throughout the season, start to gel, start to learn one another, and that's what you want to see from a team, and then you start stringing together consistency and year in and year out. So yeah, can Coach Callie do it? Yes, I believe so. I believe he can take the Titans further. With that being said, once again, guys, would like to take the time to remind y'all that this episode of What's Shakin' Titans is powered by Bailey's Barbecue. Bailey's Barbecue, smoking good barbecue. Then, guys, tomorrow is Father's Day. So if you're out in Dixon, Tennessee, and you want to celebrate a special father in your life, or if you yourself is a father and you're craving some Mexican food, definitely go to Las Fajitas. All day tomorrow, all fathers eat 50% off, so definitely go check them out. Guys, if you order off of Temu, you can use code TAN83620 and get 30% off site wide. Or if you're completely new to Temu and you've never ordered from them before, you can follow the link in the description below and you'll receive a $100 coupon bundle. And then, guys, also, if you're in the Dixon area and you're craving some good breakfast or some burgers, or if you even want to do the heart attack challenge, you can definitely check out Luke's Breakfast and Burgers, located at 255 Dixon Plaza Drive in Dixon, Tennessee, 37055. So, guys, let's talk a little OTAs and mini camps here. What, in your opinion, has been the ups and downs that we've seen through OTAs? And before I shoot it to one of y'all, I do want to say this to all of our viewers is, guys, it's just OTAs. It's just mini camp. It really don't mean nothing. Once we get into training camp and preseason, that's when you really got to pay attention. That's when things really mean something. This is just trying to start the basis of your opinion on certain players, of what we've seen or what you've heard. So what has been the ups and downs for you throughout minicamp so far?
Ups and downs throughout minicamp. I mean, honestly, bro, like you said, like I don't look too far into it because, quote Allen Iverson, like we're talking about practice, bro. Like it's just practice. Like, it's okay. Like these guys are, completely new to each other. I don't know what the percentage on roster turnover is, but like I'm pretty sure it's pretty high, up over the 70% rate, if not up over the 80s or 90s. But like it's a super huge turnaround. I feel like for this whole roster, and deciding who makes that 53-man roster. So I think the biggest key takeaway for me has been that the first round pick, Latham, he's a guy who puts in the extra work and stuff like that. He's a guy who wants to practice. He wants to be there with the team, and he wants to develop and learn and go through different stuff like that. That was something that Bill had spoke pretty highly on him. He's not like other first round picks. He doesn't have that first round pick ego with him. He doesn't carry that first round pick. I'm better than you type mentality. He just knows it and he shows it. So that's something good that I feel like we can take away from these OTAs. I feel like if you had a negative about the OTAs, in this this part of the off season, I feel like it would kind of be like the lack of chemistry with the team. I feel like that's where you're getting a lot of these like negative reports within the 7-on-7 drills that we were looking at the other day, guys, and we seen the report. I think it was from Jerron Davenport or A to Z or something like that.
It was A to Z.
A to Z Sports, and kind of going over the play-by-play breakdowns. Nick Westbrook again couldn't get his feet in bounds on one play. Then there was a Tyler Boyd touchdown, in between two defenders, stuff like that. Kind of hit and miss. He overthrew Josh Wiley on one, I think, in the back of the end zone or something like that. There was one that was intercepted. So just, there's just different stuff that you could pull away from the OTAs. But as far as like the negatives, I feel like it's a lack of chemistry thing. And for me, the biggest positive I feel like is that first round pick, J.C. Latham. I feel like he's really going to pan out and be who we thought he was going to be and who Rand Carthon and Brian Callahan thought he was going to be. But I'll throw it back to you guys now.
Yeah, man. I think you hit the nail right on the head there. With OTAs once again and minicamp, you can't really do too much of a deep dive. You can start a basis on something, but you can't do a deep dive on it because, just like Blue said, it's just practice. It's the first time these guys are taking the field. It's the first time they're doing 7-on-7s. They're not only trying to learn chemistry with each other, but they're trying to learn and execute a new offensive scheme, defensive scheme. If I had to go winners and losers in my opinions, type thing, I'd have to say, the ups is definitely, and winner, of the OTA has to be, and minicamp has to be J.C. Latham, man. Like, I'll refer to a story I heard on, I think it was 104.5. And we had some storms rolling through Nashville, and Latham was out there practicing with the Bertha, and he was the last one on the field. He was out there doing extra reps, and the storm starts rolling in, and they were trying to get him off the field. Well, he refused to go off the field, so of course it started lightning really bad. So they had to go up there to oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. They had to go up to our freaking GM. Rand, yeah, I'm sorry. Rand Carthon. Dadgum, guys, I'm sorry. They had to go up to Rand's office, and Rand had to go down to the field and literally drag Latham off the field. And for me, that doesn't just show, drive in a player, but that shows character, to be willing, and it's not just that day. It's every day that, he's the last one.
I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding.
He's the last one to come off the field. He's putting in that work, to not just be a average offensive line, but to be something great in the NFL. And so I'm really excited to see J.C. Latham in action. And Lord, let's hope that, the stupidness don't rub off on him. And then, losers.
I need to be recuperated.
I broke nasty.
CPR, guys. CPR.
Oh God, that got me. I'll throw my two in real quick, my goods and my bads real fast. I think with the veterans that we brought in, like a Snead, already having Harold Landry, already Simmons now can even be thrown in that conversation. On the offensive side, D-Hop's definitely a vet. Tyler Boyd's another vet. So the positives for the OTAs for me so far is knowing that those veteran guys that we did bring in want to win, and they're gonna go. If they're like Maddox was saying, there was a couple of 7-on-7 drills. On the one that was maybe dropped or one didn't get his foot in, maybe, whoever the receiver was went back to Will Levis and said, hey, look, man, if you could just drop it a little more on the inside of in, bro, I would have had enough, a couple inches to get my feet in on that. So it's that camaraderie and that type of stuff that I think is definitely a plus for the OTA so far. And just in general, it's having those veteran guys there to talk the rookies through, the guys we just drafted, or the second-year players, third year, fourth year, whatever the numbers are. I think that's going to help, along with the coaches and everything, bring in the type of togetherness that you have to make playoff runs and Super Bowl runs and things like that. So and then the downside of it, like we all three have said, it's kind of hard to base off of just OTAs and things like that. But I'd say maybe the downside of it would be lack of what I was just saying. If there isn't that kind of
Lack of chemistry.
if there isn't that kind of like teammate type of chemistry, like, yeah, I know I just came in here like a Tyler Boyd. Oh, I just came in here, but if he's not willing or veteran enough to go up to his quarterback or another receiver or younger receiver to say these type of things, that will definitely be a downfall. So it's a kind of what if, we don't necessarily know if that's happening or not happening in practice, but we can hope that the veterans are doing what veterans should do and bringing up the younger guys. So those are my ups and downs on the OTA so far.
Yeah, and to kind of go back to what you were talking about and to finish my downs, I think if you really want to do like I've been talking about, kind of do your basis of the start of your opinion, because you can't give a full solid opinion on a particular player just out of OTAs and minicamp, because it just makes no sense. You haven't seen them in a live game action yet. But if I had to go downs, I'd say, for me, the downside is the fact that we haven't been able to see Snead on the field yet. Sweat hasn't been on the field yet. Those are two players that I'm really keen to see, start practicing. Of course, they are both kind of recovering from previous injuries. So, once they do take the field, that's going to be really exciting for me. And then down for me would be, and it's not so much as, oh, I'm down on this player. It's just down as of right now. Like we talked about, like Maddox said, right now they're trying to develop chemistry with one another. They're trying to, learn offensive playbooks. They're trying to, and this particular player develop in a new, footwork and how he operates, and that would be Will Levis. He kind of struggled throughout OTAs and minicamp, and you kind of referred to it.
Footwork.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what that was.
As
one.
soon as you said footwork, I laughed because I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah, and that was one thing that was reported, very widespread throughout people who actually attend practice and get to watch these players live. I would say the positive note on Will Levis is that in the final day of minicamp, that man turned it on, and he seemed to correct a lot of those areas that everybody was nitpicking at. So that is good. And once again, like I said, it's just OTAs and minicamp, so you can't really get a full opinion on someone because they hadn't even played a single snap that counts. So
to contradict that though, I mean, we do know that he has good pocket presence now.
Yeah, and I mean, well, now he's gonna have
after the Giudice video, bro. I mean, we know, like, at least he can stay in the pocket, keep his composure in clutch moments like that. You know what I'm saying? That's a clutch moment. So I feel like that.
Footwork seemed just fine to me.
Figured out a lot of our fan base wanted to see Will Levis's
wow.
How to put this?
We went there.
That thing.
But I did it.
Banana,
Yeah, that banana.
Guilty.
When he eats his bananas with the peel on, so does Giudice.
But yeah, definitely, we'll dadgummit, man.
I ain't do nothing.
All right. So yeah, Will Levis definitely had some ups and some downs throughout OTAs and
he had something up, that's for sure.
Throughout OTAs and mini camps. I'm definitely glad to see him bounce back. I'm definitely glad that he bounced back that last day of mini camp.
That threw me a curve, literally.
Yeah, and kind of correct some of those woes. Like he said, you can go to A to Z Sports Twitter page, and you can check out where they kind of tweeted out the 7-on-7s There was one day where he had only had two completions. One of them was a touchdown. He had, I think, two interceptions that same day. But once again, once we start seeing this chemistry develop, and you see him get used to the new offensive playbook, then it's not going to be something that he has to think about constantly. Then it's just going to become habit, and I think we'll see him kind of grow throughout the season. I will definitely break that down more a little bit later. And we also kind of talked about who stood out the most to us during OTAs and minicamp. So I want to kind of I want to throw this to everybody in the comments. Out of OTAs, who stood out the most to you? I say for me, it was J.C. Latham, and I want to also say Jarvis Jackson, or however you say his name, Jaheeb Jackson, I think, the wide receiver that we drafted. I was really kind of interested in him. I figured that with us drafting him, he was going to be more of a special team focus for this year. But to kind of see how and hear how he's progressed throughout the offseason workouts and stuff, I'm actually kind of curious to see him moving forward. So, do y'all have anybody else who stood out to y'all during OTAs and minicamp?
No, I'd say Jackson, Latham were the two for me that stood out. Obviously, there's the weight issue with Sweat or whatever, and he needs to lose some weight and stuff like that. But as far as performance and like progression, trying to get some playing time and stuff, moving towards the 53, I'd say definitely Latham and Jackson were my two picks.
Yeah, I second that. Second and third that for both of you.
Yeah. So, with that being said, let me ask you this. Did y'all learn anything in particular about this offense, defense, and or special teams throughout OTAs and minicamp that really kind of just stood out to you? It doesn't have to be player-wise. It could be coaching-wise. Could be, schematic-wise. Just what
Culture,
stood
bro.
out? Culture? The
Culture.
three C's? Brian Callahan did go on busting
All
with the
press.
boys with the three C's.
I love the culture, especially because of the the defensive coordinator and the way he said it. And in his voice, you could tell he was not going to let these cornerbacks and shit play off these receivers no more. And that's something that we as fans have been saying for seasons on end now is pressure the receivers, man up on them receivers, jam them up at the line. So I definitely like the culture in itself, not just defense, not just offense, not just special teams. I think it has been a complete turnaround, complete 180, 360, whatever you want to call it, and that they're going to put their money where their mouths are out there on the field, man. I really truly feel confident in that.
Yeah, man. I definitely have to agree with you there. Culture is something that definitely stood out to me. Um, I want to say, but what stood out to me the most wasn't just the culture; it was the coaching. Not only from the head coach to the defensive coordinator to the offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, but you got the O line coach, Bill Callahan. I mean, all these coaches, they've come to play and they've come to build something and make something a lot more successful than it was in years past. So that's something that really stood out to me is, we see a unified coaching staff here that, all love the sport of football, that love to teach players, that love to see development come from their players. So I'm really excited to continue to watch not only the players' growth, but this coaching staff and their growth throughout the season as well. Maddox, what about you, man?
Yeah, man, I'm for the coaching staff and all of it, man. Like I said at the beginning of the offseason, before Mike Vrabel was fired or any of that stuff, man, or it was like immediately right after that, we hired Brian Callahan. If things kept going in the general direction that they were going, that we were poised to be, one of the top teams in the league this year, and things kept going in that general direction, you got, Denard Wilson, Nick Holes, Bill Callahan comes in. Can't name them off the top of my head, but like your running back coach changed. And, just had different changes inside of the coaching staff from top to bottom, and then you bring in all the offseason signings. And you have a great draft. I don't think there's anything in this offseason that they've missed. I think Rand has cooked, just like everybody has said. Let Rand cook. I started that like last season. Let Rand cook, saying that all last season, and he's done it again this offseason. He did it last offseason. Great draft last offseason. Brought in DeAndre Hopkins and stuff like that. Um, I feel like it was just a coaching issue, guys. I'm still holding to that, guys. I don't feel like it was all that much of a player issue and stuff like that. Development of talent and stuff like that. It was more so on the coaching staff and not being able to come up with those schemes and stuff for the proper players and stuff like that. Let's put Mariota into for example. Like there was never a real scheme or anything played around Mariota to where like it was his team and it was ran his style of offense and stuff with Vrabel. Same thing with Malik Willis. Like there was never offensive scheme. It was the same offense that Ryan Tannehill was trying to run. It wasn't an offense made for Malik Willis. So I think that's another huge thing with this coaching staff coming in is that everything's a fresh start and they're building this team and this offense for Will Levis to succeed and be producing quarterback that can win us some championships and nationals. So like I mean it's just this been a home run offseason in my opinion. I don't think you could have drawn it up better on paper.
Yeah, man, I have to agree. I think one of the best things that I heard Brian Callahan say, throughout this offseason is the fact that, he's not here just to dictate how a player plays a game, but he wants to help push that player forward in areas that he's good. So he said communication. So, the three C's, this goes back to his three C's, but communication is key. Not only from the coaches to the players, but from the players to the coaches. And the thing that stood out the most is when he was talking about Will Levis and just having that open line of communication. Hey, do you like this play? What do you feel like works in this play? What do you feel like doesn't work in this play? And how they're going to build something off of what he feels comfortable in. And that kind of goes back over to Malik Willis as well. Is they're going to build a team that can play to these players' strengths, and not just expect these players to be somebody they're not. You said it best, man. You look at Marcus Mariota. He had the potential to be a great quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. And just wasn't able to achieve it because he was being forced to try and be another, pocket passing quarterback, and that just wasn't Mariota's game. You go and you look at his game style throughout Oregon, and he was known for his speed, his legs, getting outside of the pocket and making big plays. So I'm really excited about that, and just to kind of see all that take place and transpire. Also want to go into a little bit of a conversation. Man, these new sleds, Bertha and Ogla, man, the impact that they're having on this O-line. Have y'all ever seen anything like this before, when it comes to, a Titans offensive line coach or a sled in general?
I feel like that's why Bill Callahan is who Bill Callahan is. I feel like um, before we go into more about the offensive line and like Bertha and stuff like that, I wanted to talk about like Calvin Ridley. I don't feel like anybody's talked about Calvin Ridley enough. I know that the money issue and stuff like that, people feel like we're paying too much for him. Um, Calvin Ridley saw double coverage on 13.6% of his snaps last year. He had the second high. That's the second highest in the NFL. He also had a success rate of at least 80% or better on majority of on all of his routes last year, and he saw double coverage the second most out of any receiver in the NFL. So that's a huge thing for Will Levis because you think about last year and DeAndre Hopkins being his big number one target. Once you double coverage and took D Hop out of the game, Will Levis had to pretty much, like force throws into, guys that, normally he wouldn't try to make those plays and stuff. So getting Ridley in there with D Hop, guys, that's going to be huge for Will Levis and his production this season because it gives him that other. You can't just guard one guy now. You have to account for every man on the field on that offense that can make a play, and that's gonna be wild to watch, guys. But as far as like the sleds and stuff like that go, and Bill Callahan and the production for this offensive line, how big that's been, like I said, I feel like that's just been part of his success in recent years. Is he does stuff differently than other guys do it. It's not the same type of coaching that none of these guys are used to that they've ever been through. So
Yeah.
I think it's great for them. It's obviously great for the team, and like I feel like it also helps with team bonding and chemistry and stuff like that. All in the long run, like these hands-on drills and stuff like that, working with personable equipment that not all these training camps and all these facilities have. I know some of these guys have been on different teams and stuff like that, so they haven't seen stuff like that. And guys that have been on this team, they haven't seen stuff like that in previous regimens and stuff like that. So I think it's a plus for us. It gives us kind of like an advantage, almost like a secret weapon, like that we're using at practice and stuff like that. I feel like, so I think it's gonna be good for us in the long run.
Do you know he owns the patent for those for Bertha and Ogla?
Yeah, that's why I called it that. Like I didn't know how to put it, but like like a secret weapon kind of.
Yeah,
like
it literally is, man.
Like,
yeah,
jokes on you.
And honestly,
sucker.
and if you
Michael
think about
Jordan
it, guys, if you think about it, this can be like a friendly competition for practices, which is only going to make the other guys better too. They've seen J.C. Latham; he's the only one, as far as I know, that's been able to handle Bertha. So if I'm one of the other guys on that team, still trying to make a roster spot or still trying to have an impact to be able to play 17 games in a season, then yeah, I'm gonna use that as motivation. Oh well, JC, he's a rookie. He just got drafted. He just got that thing up. Now I get to go in there and I get to figure it out. So I feel like it's a really, really good strategy for Bill. Just like Maddox was saying, that is different. It's something. It's that type of chemistry that's going to eventually be something to look back on at the beginning of the OTAs or at the beginning of the training camps and things like that, and say, well, JC was the only one that was able to get Bertha up at the beginning of this thing, start of the season. Look, we got four different offensive linemen that can work both of these new machines now. So I think it's a very good thing to maybe even have a friendly competition inside of practice, which is only going to make your players around you better.
Well, competition will help you. Competition will help you grow. It'll help you drive and want to be better or do better. So I agree 100%. The competition is great. Who was that? What was the name of the left tackle we drafted last year? Never played left tackle. I'm drawing a blank. Peter Skoronsky. Yeah. So I know that J.C. Latham was the first one to really get a grip on Bertha and Ogla and kind of figure them out. But Skoronsky has as well now, and let's talk about him for a second as we get into winners and losers of OTAs and mini camps. Because Skoronsky looks like a completely different human being. Last year he had the I think it was, what was it, his appendix ruptured on him, and so he was really small. This man is huge now. I mean, huge. So he's going to be a solid guard for us. So I'm really excited to see him grow. So in my winners list, and this is where I was going to bring up Ridley here, because Ridley has actually done very well for the Titans so far throughout OTAs and minicamp. I think if you ask my opinion, you can see why we have the three receivers that we have in D-Hop, Ridley, and Boyd, because all three of them have definitely been consistent through all, out OTAs and minicamp. But I want to really focus in on Ridley and Boyd, because they both gone on, on in interviews, and they both basically took accountability for stuff they didn't have to, when it comes to Will Levis, and basically saying, hey, look, it's up to us as a wide receiver core to help bring Will Levis along, so to help him develop, to help him learn this playbook, to be in positions to where he can get these passes off, where we're not having somebody on our back. And to see that level of accountability come from them really speaks a lot to me as a person. So, hats off to them. But, yeah, winners definitely have to be Ridley, Boyd, D-Hop, Peter Sharonsky, J.C. Latham. I would also go as far as to say Burks. Burks had, started out having a pretty decent OTAs and then kind of slopped off right there at the end at the last two mini camps. But, with Burks, like
Typical.
Coach Callahan said, he's going to have to earn it. So, losers for me, the losers throughout, and I'm going to ask y'all this. You can go winners or losers just regarding the Titans, or you can go throughout the entire NFL if y'all want. I don't care. It's whatever y'all want to kind of go with that. But I'm going to stick to the Titans. Losers for me, because we didn't have the opportunity to get to see them play. Now, yes, it was due to injury, but because I didn't get to see them to play, I was really kind of let down and disappointed. But I'd have to put Snead. I'm not worried about Snead. I know Snead is a veteran player who is one of the top at his positions. I think he is the top at his position, to be honest with you, in my opinion. Sweat, because, I really wanted to see Sweat put in that work. I definitely want to see the shot of him and Jeff standing next to each other, getting ready to rush the O-line. Like, I am ready to see that. I don't know about you guys, but I am, like, itching at the heels to see those two behemoths just right beside each other getting ready to pound somebody. So what are your winners and losers throughout OTAs and mini camps? Like I said, you can stick to the Titans. You don't have to.
I gave you my winners. I think losers is anybody who's doubting this team this year for me, man. Anybody who's had anything negative to say about this Titans team this offseason or anything, man, you the loser of OTAs to me. You the loser of the whole offseason and the regular season and the next season and the one after that. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Go ahead, Master T Savage. Let them know.
Yeah, I agree with what Blue just said. Y'all the losers. Anybody that's doubting this Tennessee Titans team upcoming this season, next season, the season after that, come at me after we win our Super Bowl rings and then doubt us, because then you're
DM
gonna
me,
be
get
like,
my
oh
address.
yeah.
No.
Then they're gonna be like, oh, I knew they could do it all along. This, that, and the third. No, work on that kind of footwork, bruh. No, I'm just kidding.
Go take ballet somewhere.
Yeah, no, my winners for the Titans in general, I feel like is going to be an high-powered offense. I feel like that's definitely going to be a winner for us this season. I said it in previous episodes. I don't think there's going to be just one standout wide receiver. I don't think there's going to be one standout running back. I think there's going to be a duo in that category, in both of those categories, and we might get lucky and be able to even see a good tight end duo. It's all going to be mainly starting with that offensive line holding up, and then from then on, that playbook has wonders of things that we can go with to keep getting the ball in the end zone. So, winners is definitely going to be our coaching staff on the offensive side and the offense themselves. And I don't know, loser. I don't know if I can even do a loser for them, other than like you both said as well, not being able to see what Sweat was able to try and showcase in the OTAs and mini camp, training camp, or whatever it is. So that kind of sucked. That was a loser in my opinion. And then also, like y'all said as well with Snead, just not being able to see, which I know is the beginning of it. And like Gary said, I'm not necessarily worried about Snead either. He's a veteran player. He knows what his body can and can't handle. And the coaching staff and medical staff's going to do a good job of keeping an eye on that with him too. So those are definitely my winners and losers for the Titans.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, dude, y'all hit the nail on the head. With that being said, guys, once again, I just want to remind y'all, like, this is just OTAs and minicamp, and a lot of people are either buying too far in or, putting all their chips into OTAs and minicamp, and, this time is just for them to build chemistry, to get to know one another, to learn the playbook, So me personally, I don't think it's too much to look into. It's training camp and preseason and the first 4 games that you really got to focus on, With that being said, I do want to give a quick shout out, guys. We have a new fellow co-host. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to hop on with us today. Due to family illness, his daughter was sick, and so he had to kind of take care of her. But I want to give a shout out to Quincy Hammond. Thank you, bro, for taking the opportunity and joining our team here at the Twin Titans Sport Network and What's Shakin' Titans. We look forward to having you on the show. And the reason why I went ahead and announced that, guys,
Go put you in a little beat box right down there. Go put you in a little beat box right down there.
The reason I went ahead and announced that is because as we get into our final topic here, which is going to be our hot takes and our predictions, you'll see his hot takes, his predictions, all of that pop up on the screen. So just know, that it's our new co-host, but unfortunately he wasn't able to join us. But we will share his hot takes and
Round of
predictions.
applause for Quincy, a.k.a. I'm going to start calling him Q because I don't want to say Quincy all the time. Yay.
So with that being said, guys, just a quick reminder that this episode of What's Shakin' Titans is powered by Bailey's Barbecue. Bailey's Barbecue, smoking good barbecue. Guys, tomorrow is Father's Day, so if you have that special father in your life and you want to take him out somewhere special, look no further than Las Fajitas in Dixon, Tennessee. You can take them there, get 50% off all day long. Guys, definitely check them out. Great food, great drinks, great environment. Let them know that Gary from What's Shakin' Titans sent you. From there, guys, if you are a new Temu user and you want to order something special for that father, in your life, you can use the link in our description to receive a $100 coupon bundle, and you'll get you can get anything off of that site. You can also, if you're already a Temu user, you can use code TAN83620, get 30% off site-wide. Lastly, guys, if you're in Dixon, Tennessee, or you're ever traveling through Dixon, Tennessee, and you want a good burger, or if you want breakfast, definitely look up Luke's Breakfast and Burgers, located at 255 Dixon Plaza Drive, Dixon, Tennessee 37055. The hours are pulled up on the screen. They have some great burgers, great servers. They're really, really, really good people there. Definitely, if you think you can do it, do the heart attack challenge. It's
Try the heart attack.
Yeah, it's awesome. I actually seen a girl beat it, and this is like the smallest woman I'd ever seen in my life. And like, bro, she demolished this challenge in like 15 minutes. It was mind blowing.
Big mouth wanted.
But with that being,
what was that?
Wish I could have seen that
slogan to when we was growing up. There wasn't there like a food item or something like that, and like the slogan to the end of the commercial was like "Big Mouth Wanted" or something like that. What was it? Honeycomb.
Bass Pro Shop. Bass
Nah, it
Pro
was like
Shop.
Bass
cereal
Pro
or
Shop.
something. Nah, it was. I think it was honeycomb cereal. Or
nah,
something
bro,
like that,
nah, that
wasn't
was Will Levis.
it? That boy. Tried to ask y'all something serious. One time I tried to be serious. Don't know why I want to answer my question. That's all right. We go back to making jokes.
All right, guys. So
Since we're making jokes, Texans are going to win the AFC South.
bum bum bum.
Speaking of jokes, did you guys
Panthers
see
are gonna
where
win the
they
Super
just
Bowl.
signed Trevor Lawrence over there, Jacksonville? Now that's funny.
Oh man, dude, it's like I ain't even gonna get into Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Save
Hey,
that for
hey,
another
I would
time.
love to get a Jaguars fan on one of our podcasts so we can get y'all's opinion on that contract.
Yeah, I've got the
extension.
perfect
Hey man,
Jaguars
hey,
fan.
nobody
I'll
wants to
set it
see
up.
murder in real life.
No, I'll set it up. I mean, and it'd probably be easy. It'd be easy to get a Jaguars fan on here, bro. Like, like they have a lot of free time. Most of them are on house arrest anyway, so we could definitely probably get one on here for sure.
All
They
right.
over there hanging out with Trump with the ankle bracelet on.
How you lead Trump about?
America.
So I support
America.
Mark. Yeah. Well,
All right, guys. Let's get into our predictions real fast. Let's start out with our record prediction. Guys, these are all of our record predictions here at What's Shakin' Titans. So Blueface, man, you got the Titans going 14-3 this season. How far do you think they're making it in the playoffs?
we win in the Super Bowl, bro.
So you're going Super Bowl. Massey,
I'm never gonna tell you no different than that, bro. Like that's my
That's your go.
I don't give a shit, bro. Like I told you earlier, I was born blue. I come out the womb blue. 2 months early and dead, still born. Blue face, baby. I was blue when I was born. I'll be blue when I die. Two-tone blue heart all the way, bro. 14-3, we won the Super Bowl, man. You can't tell me nowhere on paper where we ain't winning at least 14 games. You lying to yourself. You lying to your mama, your grandma, whoever you telling it to. If you tell me that, I don't care who you are, bro. You can't look at a piece of paper right now and tell me Titans ain't winning 14 games. I don't care who you are. 14-3 Super Bowl champions, man. You heard what I said, bro.
Tighten up.
Well, I'll
Blue.
tell you, I think we're only going to win 11.
You lying?
Now look, I went 11-6 on my prediction, but I did tell the guys in the chat that I believe we can go 12-5, but I wanted to go 11-6 to be on the safe side, so I don't upset myself at the end of the season if it's not 12-5. If that makes sense. So
Yeah, no,
that
makes
was my
perfect sense.
prediction. Yeah, that was my prediction, man. Like I said, that's exactly how I feel on paper. I feel like it'll be put together. Obviously, if it's better than what my prediction is at 11-6, then awesome. The playoff run we make, I feel like we definitely make it to the AFC Championship, into the Super Bowl, and then obviously if we make it that far, we got to go ahead and get the dub. So those are my predictions on that, Gary. What was your record prediction?
So
Well, I'll tell you,
actually,
Gary
hang
thinks
on
we got Jeff
before we get into mine. I want to give a shout out to Quincy. Quincy was right there with you, one game apart at 10-7. So just want to give him a quick shout out, and then
Now let me tell you, Gary
mine
thinks we
is
got Jeff
9-8.
Fisher as the head coach.
Mine is 9-8. I think we're gonna go 9-8. I think we'll miss the playoffs by one game. I think it's gonna come down to one of the last, 3-4 games that we have on our schedule, and I think we're just gonna miss it by one game this year.
Do you think week 18 matters? Is that a winning game? Week 18,
possibly
against the Texans,
as a
for the division or whatever,
for a wild card spot. Yes, I think that could be the case. I could see that. But here's the reason why I'm saying this, and it's not because I'm trying to be Mr. hating on the Titans. No, I love the Titans. As you can see, this is my living room that is decked out in nothing but Titan stuff. So, guys, I'm saying 9-8. Looking at this from a standpoint of, I think that with it being Brian Callahan's first year, Will Levis's second year, but first year in this new playbook. We got a bunch of new players who's going to have to develop chemistry. I think we start out the season a bit rough, but then we will watch the Tennessee Titans grow each game in and game out. We're going to see them taking steps forward, but unfortunately, I don't think that we are able to do it in enough time to make it into the playoffs. I do think that we go on a Super Bowl run next year. I think that's when we're going to get the full Will the Mailman Levis show, where we see him take a step from being a good quarterback to one of the top tier quarterbacks, elite quarterbacks, if you would say. That's just my personal opinion on this season. So, with that being said, let's get into Will Levis and his actual stat predictions, because this is pretty cool here, guys. We kind of just took a gamble and decided, what, we're going to try and give y'all our best opinions of Will Levis and what stats we think he will finish the year out with. So starting out with Quincy. Quincy said that Will Levis will pass for 3,400 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. When I talked to him about this last night, he was telling me that he feels like Will Levis will kind of continue to struggle with some of the accuracy issues, forcing balls into double coverage, which is going to show in the interception category. So 25 touchdowns, 14 interception. Guys, what's your thoughts on Quincy's predictions?
I like it. I think that it's a little low on the touchdowns. I feel like Will Levis probably throw more touchdowns than that. I feel like thank you. My daughter trying to stuff my vapes in my mouth.
Here, Dad, take it. Just take it and hit it. Right now.
Don't smoke, kids. If there's any kids watching this, don't start smoking. But if you already smoke, these vapes are pretty good. Anyway, no, I like it though. I think it's pretty realistic. I think it's manageable, and I think it's something that could honestly happen throughout the season with the offense and the schedule that we have.
Yeah, I definitely like Quincy's Will Levis predictions, and I'd really like it even more if he was here to tell us himself. No, I'm just kidding. Quincy, this is the sense of humor that we're gonna have on this show, man. Welcome to the team. Looking forward to you being on the show for your first episode, whenever that's gonna be. But no, I like it. 3.4K passing yards. That seems very reasonable to me. With Will Levis's second season, 25 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. That's really not bad, and it's not too far off from what my predictions were. And Gary and Blue, if y'all are cool with that, I'll go ahead and read mine off real
Yeah,
fast.
go for it, brother.
So I predicted he goes for 3.8K passing yards, 30 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions, and I feel pretty confident about that. I don't feel like Will Levis is going to be a turnover machine. Knock on wood. I hope that don't curse him or anything, but I feel like his touchdown to turnover ratio is going to be really positive instead of medium or middle or negative. So yeah, man, that's my prediction: 3,800 passing yards, at least 30 touchdowns, and no more than 10 interceptions. Man, what do y'all think on my predictions?
I like it. I think that's closer to kind of like where I was shooting at with my predictions. I can't remember exactly what my prediction was. Gary will have to read it off, but that's pretty close to what I was shooting at with Levis. I think that I had him throwing a few more interceptions than that. What did you say? 10?
16.
So Blue has Will Levis throwing 4.1K passing yards, 32 touchdown passes with 16 interceptions.
Yeah. So I think he'll be about in that 50% range as far as his touchdowns to interception ratios. But just the speed of Ridley and then the effectiveness of, the chemistry that him and Hopkins built last year, I feel like they'll be able to get a lot of those,
Yeah, and don't
big
forget
chunk
about
plays
Boyd
downfield
either in
and
that
stuff
mix,
like
man.
that. So,
You add Boyd
yeah,
and then
TB.
Chig. If Chig has a bounce back year, I mean,
just as far as
There's
like the
nothing
big
on
chunk
there.
plays, man, like that's gonna be
I'll
bread
give you
and butter
some of
for
my. I'll
Ridley
give you one of my
and
Jolly Ranchers,
Hopkins.
Kinsley, because I let him eat on your gummy.
So I feel like that's just going to be more of a positive impact as far as like the passing yards. That's why I went with the 4,000 passing yards for Levis. I don't know the last time that somebody on the Titans threw for 4,000 yards, and we went and had a legitimate chance at winning a Super Bowl. But I think that this is one of those years, guys. So that's why I went with where I went with, for my stats.
Because I let Matt Jennings
Yeah.
eat the rest of your gummy.
I like it a lot. And then guys, for me, I ended up going with 2,785 passing yards, 18 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, is I believe that the Titans will start out the season struggling and trying to build that chemistry and, the understanding of a new playbook and all that. I think that as the season grows, we will see Will Levis grow, we will see the offense grow and continue to get better. And that's when we're going to see the spike in these numbers. With the touchdowns and interception numbers, I think, you can fluctuate those. I think, from anywhere between 18 to 24, to maybe even 26 touchdowns. Interceptions, I do agree with Quincy and Blue. I'm going anywhere between 10 and 16 on that. But yeah, I did go kind of low for his passing yards, just because it's his first year, and trying to develop that chemistry with these players. I think that, we're going to see some struggles at first, but we will see growth from him as the season goes further along. I think Will Levis has all the potentials to be an elite quarterback for us moving forward, and I think he will show us why he is that guy. Once again, I just believe that when we see the mailman, banana person down there, when we see his coming out, I think that's going to be next year, next season. I think we're really going to see why the Titans invested in him, why Bill Callahan is so excited and enthused to coach him. I think there's just a lot to look forward when you talk about that. So yeah, what's your thoughts on that, Massey?
One shot.
Yeah, no, I mean, 100%, man. We got it. It's such a. Oh no, we lost Blue.
Yeah, we sure did.
Hopefully he hops back in. Uh, hopefully he'll hop back in here. But yeah, man, it's such a. It's a really good. I like you playing it safe, with your numbers on that. Probably similar to why I was playing it safe with my record prediction. Because it's kind of right in the middle. If he does exceed your numbers, then cool, man. Like, that's awesome. But if he gets right around the same numbers, it's like, all right, yeah, kind of seen that coming because that's what it looked like on paper. And, with your opinion going into the second season. So I definitely like it. I like it a lot. And I think all four of our predictions were really good on that. And as soon as we hopefully get Blue back in here, we can jump on to the next topic, which is our hot takes. I'm pretty excited about that one, guys. But before we do that, and while Gary's working on getting Blue back in here, I will go ahead and let you guys know, if you have not already, guys, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, tap the like, share this out to all your friends, all your family, all your enemies, all your frenemies. It don't matter to us, man. Share them out. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. I believe we're on a couple other accounts too, but I don't want to put them out there if we're not on them, and I don't know for sure. So, guys, like I said, we appreciate all you guys. We would not be able to do it without you, man. We are going to be coming with y'all with content consistently, just like we have been. Obviously there's breaks in between shows and stuff like that, but we all have families. We all have things going on. And also, Gary has mentioned it a couple times during advertisements. Tomorrow is Father's Day, guys, and I just want to give a huge shout out to all the fathers out there, man. The real dads out there doing everything they can to provide for their kids and their family and things like that, guys. Much love, much respect, and I hope tomorrow is a great day for all of you. You, especially Gary, and then whenever Blue gets back in here, man, y'all are my brothers, and I know y'all are great dads.
Yeah.
So, man, happy early Father's Day to y'all, man, and to every other father out there in the world that's trying to kick life's ass every day for their family, man.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day to y'all.
Same to you, bro. Happy Father's Day to you. Happy early Father's Day to
Thanks,
you.
man.
And, to everybody tuning in today, happy 615 Day, because that's what it is. We represent the 615 around here, if you ain't noticed. So, happy early Father's Day to all the dads out there watching, just like Massey was saying. And also happy 615 Day to everybody who's tuned in live right now.
That's so cool. I didn't realize it was 615.
Yeah, it was
And guys, I'm sure most of y'all know, but for who don't, it's June, 6th month of the year, and it's the 15th. So 615. Nashville area code, Tennessee area code. So yeah, that's freaking cool, man.
Yeah,
when you said it, I looked at my calendar. I was like, wait, what? That's so awesome.
Is it really? Yeah, and honestly, I like when I picked to do the episode today, I had no idea it was going to be the 15th, bro. Honestly, it was not planned. It just kind of happened that way. I realized it this morning when I seen the Titans post about Happy 615 Day. I was like, oh, snap. Perfect day I picked. Unfortunately, we haven't heard back from Maddox yet, but I believe Massey's going to message him as well. So while he's doing that, I'm going to do a quick ad read guide. So just so y'all know, this episode of What's Shakin' Titans is powered by Bailey's Barbecue. Bailey's Barbecue, smoking good barbecue. And then, like we were just talking about, tomorrow is Father Day, June 16th, guys. And if you're in the Dixon area and you're looking for some Mexican food or just some good food in general, definitely look up Las Fajitas. Give them a visit all day tomorrow. Fathers eat 50% off. They have great food, great drinks. Definitely check them out. They are our main sponsors here at What's Shakin' Titans and the TwinTitans Sport Network. That's why our studio is called the Las Fajitas Studio. But guys, if you're not in the mood for Mexican, or you're wanting some burgers or some breakfast, Monday through Saturday, look up Luke's Breakfast and Burgers, one of the best burger joints here in Dixon, Tennessee, guys. They are located at 255 Dixon Plaza Drive, Dixon, Tennessee, 37055. Hours are pulled up on your screen. they have some great burgers there. One of my favorite burgers of theirs, they actually have two of them. It's the double smash patty melt. That is really good. And then the Jake, it's really good. But if you're brave enough to do the heart attack challenge, definitely do the heart attack challenge. Tell Luke that Gary sent you from What's Shakin' Titans. He'll know me. I used to work there, so definitely tell him I said, hey, huge shout out to everybody who works there, all my former co-workers. Love you guys. Hope everything is going good. With that being said, let's get back into this. Any word yet?
Yeah, so guys, I do have an update on Blueface. Unfortunately, he had to hop off real quick. Everything is okay. He just needed to go take care of some family stuff real fast. So I will say for him, guys, he appreciates y'all having him on, us having him on, and he appreciates all the viewers and things like that. It was very unexpected, so he just needed to hop off for a few. Everything is fine though. I just want everybody to know that he's good. He just needed to go. So it was unexpected, not like him to hop off without saying bye and our original piece and tighten up things like that. So he did have to jump off unexpectedly. Everything's good. So if you're cool with it, Gary, me and you can finish it
Let's
out.
do it,
And
bro.
if you want, you can read off Quincy's hot take, and I'll read off Blue's hot take whenever we get to it.
All right, so this is the order we're gonna go, just so you know. It's gonna be Q, yours, Blues, and then mine. All right, so guys, we're gonna get into our hot takes real fast. These are just our what we think is going to happen this year. That is a hot take, that is probably less likely to happen, but we think is a good chance for it to happen. So without further ado, let's get into it. So Quincy says that the Titans will have a top 3 wide receiver core. Man, I like that. I actually like that a lot. I think that is a very, very big possibility. I'm going to move this because it's like right in the middle of Massey's face. So I'm going to move the graphic right there for you guys. Sorry for that. There you go. So the graphics is now located at the top of our screen. Boom. Done. All right. Yeah, man. Massey, what's your thoughts on Quincy's hot take?
I like it, man. That sounds amazing. And it kind of reverts back to what I was saying about, like, I don't think we're just going to have one good running back. I think it's going to be a duo. Even with the receivers, if it's a trio, that's one better than a duo. So I love that. I love that take, man. I never even really would have thought about that until he said it. I know, and that's no hit towards Tyler Boyd. Now, no disrespect towards him, but I was more so thinking D-Hop and Ridley. But yeah, of course, Tyler Boyd could definitely complete that trio. So I love that take by Quincy, man.
Yeah. And then real quick, guys, Blue hopped in the comments to say, tighten up, everyone. See y'all at the preseason home game. If not before then. Again, sorry, had to leave the show early. So, man, you're all good, bro. We understand. We're all fathers here. We have families. Trust me. No hard feelings. We understand. I'm sure our viewers understand as well. So it's no big deal, but definitely look forward to having you back on here again soon. With that being said, Massey, what's your hot take?
Yeah, man. So my hot take is pretty bold, which is exactly what a hot take is, guys. But definitely feel free to give me your opinions on this. Obviously, Gary, I'll ask you this after I say it. But I say our second-year tight end, Josh Wiley, will have a better season than Chigga. What do you think about that, Gary?
Bro, I like the confidence that you're pumping out with this. I think it's exactly what it's meant to be, a hot take, bro. I think it's something that is less likely to happen, but if you think it could happen, it's definitely a hot take. And if you hit the nail on the head with this, I will crap a brick, man. But I think
you can just buy me dinner.
I'll buy you dinner, deal. But I think Josh Wiley, in my opinion, I think this is going to be his second year. We know the notorious sophomore slumps. I kind of said it, I think, either our premiere episode or I've said it during the draft episode. One of the first 2 or 3 episodes this season. And I think we kind of see a step back from Wiley this season. I think we'll see Chig, kind of bounce back from last year. To what degree, I'm not 100% sure yet. But I do know this, we can't really base last year's performance for the tight ends, and sit there and be like, oh, well, these players aren't going to be good. You got to realize is that the offensive line sucked. The tight ends got pulled in to help them block because they couldn't do their job. This year, I believe the offensive line will be able to do their jobs, which means the tight ends will be able to get down the field and make plays. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing this one play out for sure. And then you want to go ahead and do Blues?
Absolutely. Yeah, I will, and I agree with you on that. It is usually a typical second year kind of slump type deal, but hopefully that's not the case. And also, just to dive into it just a little more, as far and you just said it, Gary. As far as the tight end goes, it don't necessarily always have to be good catching. You can be a really good elite tight end by blocking and hitting those blocking spots for your receivers to pop open or for your running backs to just go down the field. You know what I'm saying? So there's different factors.
I'll take it a step further for you because the last good tight end we had was Delaney Walker, and what was he known for? Catching,
blocking.
Yeah,
catching and blocking.
He had best of both worlds. And if you
and did it. And he did it.
Yeah.
And it opened up. Look at the things it opened up for, Henry
Mariota,
at the time. Mariota, like the whole nine. So I felt like that was a great hot take, and just especially kind of like off the top. And like you said, if it does end up being true, man, that would be absolutely incredible. But yeah, man, I'll go ahead and jump into what Blue's hot take was, which I also really, really love. Gary, I'll ask you how you feel about it as well. Big Jeff to win league MVP. How do you feel about that take?
So I love it. I don't think it's a hot take, but I love it because I think this is something
is pretty hot to me.
I think this is something that is definitely in the realm of possibilities. Is for Big Jeff to win MVP. I think he can do it. For sure. Especially if this defense just balls out and he has a great year. Look at how many, people at his position alone win, league MVP. It's very possible. Now, if I wanted to do a hot take, I would say Big Jeff and Sweat to co-MVP the league, which I don't think we had a co-MVP since McNair and Manning, if I'm correct. I could be wrong on that. Y'all let me know in the comments.
That's almost an honorable mention hot take right there, because that's a rookie defensive end with a veteran beast of a defensive tackle. So yeah, dude, that's a hell of a. That's like right. That's like, and it had my blood pumping the same way when you said it, dude. I was like, gosh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And then also, like I mentioned earlier, and then you have a unthinkable breakout performance all season by Joseph Day. They brought him in here for a reason.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I'm saying? So I love it. I love it. Yeah.
This defensive front, I'm telling y'all, man. Titans that have the best defensive front in the National Football League this year, in my opinion. Especially if Sweat can drop weight. And
that's what I was just about to say. I hope Sweat does exactly what he needs to do. I hope he is surrounded by these teammates that have that positive energy saying, hey, man, come on. I promise it's going to be hard while you're doing it, but once you accomplish that goal weight, once you get out there, once you put that helmet on, you step out on the field for the first time, man, all that hard work's going to pay off.
Yeah.
Well, we got something funny in the comments.
We sure do. Blues in the comments. He said, and this is back to the tight ends. He said Jonnu was good. I definitely agree 100%. Jonnu was good, and I think if you had Jonnu right now playing with Will Levis and Chig, I think that right there, we'd be set, bro. We'd be set.
I didn't like us getting rid of Jonnu. I felt like he was almost as close to the Delaney Walker that we could have got.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like
that's
we
why
had
we
already
drafted
done away
him,
with
was to fill those shoes of Delaney Walker. And
Yeah, he definitely has some shiny times as a Tennessee Titan for sure.
yeah.
You're
And
not
then
giving him Oreo.
back to the Big Jeff
Give
and
him his
Sweat
Oreo
to
back.
co-MVP the
I
league.
already told you no.
He
And
said
I told you no.
that's not a hot take.
So
That's
put it
burnt.
the fuck down.
That's burnt.
That's burnt. And then he said
Oh, yeah.
Landry wins comeback player of the year and Simmons gets MVP.
Ooh, see, I like that.
I like that. I do.
Speaking of a comeback player of the year, Gary, I think
Yeah.
you got something to say, don't you?
I do. Guys, once again, our hot takes is something that is less likely to happen, but something that we believe is in the realm of possibilities. So here it is, guys. Traylon Burks makes a run for comeback player of the year. I think we kind of heard D Hop talk about Traylon Burks. We've heard Calvin Ridley talk about Traylon Burks. We've heard Coach Callahan come out and talk about Traylon Burks, and and that it's all been positive things. And as long as he is contributing on special teams, he'll have a spot to play on offense. And guys, I think that we see a bounce back and a comeback year for Burks. And guys, ultimately, if you look at this as a entire picture, because I know people are going to be like, well, we got D Hop, we got Ridley, we got Boyd. Why do we need Burks? Guys, we need depth, because there's going to be plays where D Hop's going to need to take a break. There's going to be plays where Ridley needs to take a break. And guess what? Those are the
Slot
two positions.
receivers.
Those are the two positions. Your slot will be Boyd, and I think Boyd is going to be replaced when he needs a break. Will be Kyle Phillips, but Hops or Ridley, let Traylon Burks come in and for a play every now and then. And, if he starts stringing together consistency or good games, then, we might see a bounce back from him. And after all, he has to prove himself, this year. This is his last year, if I'm correct, with the Titans. So, we didn't
And look, I'll do you a favor just like you did. I'll match your energy like you did on my hot take. I'll do it on yours, okay? You said if Josh Wiley does end up having a better season than Chig, you'll buy me dinner. Well, guess what? If Traylon Burks ends up getting comeback player of the year, brother, I'll buy you dinner.
Oh, snap. Oh, snap.
So
not just the dollar burger,
like
right?
No, the kids' meal. Come on now.
The kids' meal? Okay. Want the 6-piece, not the 4. I'm playing.
Pushing it. No, no, I think just like you said, that's why they're called hot takes. I think that it's with the Wiley one, it's definitely reaching, but that's exactly what a hot take is. I don't think yours is as much as a reach as mine was, to be honest. Traylon actually can do that quicker. I think Traylon would probably do that sooner than Wiley having a better season than Chig. I thought that would be a good idea, because it is a heck of a hot take, because that's not so far out there hot take. It's just right there on the edge enough where you're like, he could do it. Like that could actually happen.
Yeah, man. I definitely agree there. Like it's definitely, I think yours was more of a reach than Traylon.
Yeah.
And that's definitely just because we have seen some flashes from Traylon, throughout the last few years. We know that he's capable of being a good wide receiver, if not an elite wide receiver. We just haven't been able to see him string together consistency, whether that be because of conditioning or injury, or coaching, not putting him into a position to succeed.
When you had said something about the hot take, like that wasn't my first thought. I'm sure you remember in the chat, I was like, hot take, like what, ? And then immediately I was like, oh, like something that sounds absolutely crazy. And if it actually happened, it would be like mind blowing. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, we'll say Josh Wiley, his second year tight end, has a better year than Chig, So I just thought that was cool. What, we got something funny in the comments again?
We sure do. I want to give a huge shout out to a loyal watcher of What's Shakin' Titans, none other than Titans Kong, who says, "Tighten up. Who's ready for Willie Rocket to pop off and get 4K passing yards?" So
hey, that pocket presence is on. That
pocket presence, man. his ex, she knows all about that pocket presence, bro.
X does mark the spot. So does the internet. Oh man, I'm so glad to be doing shows again, man. I miss being on shows. Miss being on with Shakin.
For real, bro. I missed it. Guys, we were going to come back about 3-4 weeks ago. Unfortunately, I retore the ligament in my hand. That's why you see me in this. So I've just kind of been going through it, and glad to be back on here for sure. Titans Kong said, Chiggy, can't you see something? You need a Josh Wiley. So, yeah, man, go there you go. Back to your hot take with Josh Wiley.
I knew it was going to be a hit as soon as it ran across my teleprompter in my head.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of hot takes you can kind of go with this early in the season.
Hey, while I got it on my brain though, okay, so I thought about this. It's definitely it's on topic, but it's different, right? So second year players, right, usually have the slump like you were talking about, things like that. Do you think Tajay has any kind of signs of a slump, or does he just keep getting better? Because in my opinion, man, Tajay Spears had a really, really good rookie showcase, especially behind Derek. You know what I'm saying? So my question to you, Gary, and the viewers, if you want to answer it as well, do we think that Tajay has a second year slump that we're used to seeing around the NFL, or do we think Tajay is going to show more improvement than last year, even though he had a good rookie showcase, and still continue to climb the ladder? Kind of like Henry did. Henry didn't necessarily have a bad second year. He consistently each year kept going. Do we think we see that with Tajay?
So I think that, we seen some good from Tajay last year. I don't think we got to see a lot of Tajay last year, enough to sit there and say, okay, this is going to be a fallback year, or this is going to be a push forward. I think we didn't see enough of him.
He was trying to run
where
out
we,
of Derek Henry's shadow.
Even if he stays at that same level, it's going to look like more to us this year. Does that make sense? So I don't think we really can say for certain that, hey, we'll see Tajay take a step forward or back. Only because we didn't get to see that much of him, because it was still the Derrick Henry show last year,
Yeah,
Tajay,
he was trying to run out of Derek's shadow.
Yeah.
That's what that was. And did. I mean, a couple times.
Yeah, literally. So real quick, want to go to the comments. Titans Kong says, we're going to prove to the league they shouldn't sleep on us, and we're going to prove the Texans they are nothing. Sorry, comments are coming in here hot and heavy right now.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Appreciate
so where
you
was
guys
I? All right,
tuning in.
Texans, that they are nothing but 1 year wonders. Oh, that's a hot take, because I think CJ Stroud is a really capable quarterback for them. But I do think that we're going to shut them up for sure. And then Blue says, at Titans Kong, tell them. Titans Kong says, Tajay 2K incoming. Maybe not this season, but he'll be more lethal in 2024. I think he means the 2025. Yeah, he'll definitely be more lethal this year than he was last year, because we didn't get to see a lot of him. And I agree. I agree with Kong here, guys. I think we do have a possibility of seeing a 2K season from Tajay, but I don't think it will be this year. Once again, I think, like I said, my predictions kind of show that is that we will start out seeing this team kind of, struggle, not like severely struggle like we did last year, but, they'll kind of start out struggling as they learn to play together, learn the playbook, build that chemistry, and then we're going to start to see them grow together as a unit. And I think next year Tajay has that come out year along with Will Levis. And then Leo Gentry says, Tajay is going to be a distraction for the offense. Just play Pollard this year. So
I think they're gonna gel off of each other.
I,
I think when passing some passing things aren't there, guess what? You got two options. You got Tajay and Tony. You don't have to just go with one or the other. They're gonna
exactly.
have new packages. They're gonna have new schemes. They're gonna have answers for what they didn't have answers for last season.
Guys, I think the fact that you have two players that are almost identical to one another, that can both are really shifty, both can escape pressure and make plays with their legs, but they're also good with their hands catching the ball in the back, down the field. So
They both want to win.
yeah, and they both want to win. So I think Pollard is a good veteran player to bring in because that's going to give a veteran leadership, to Tajay of someone who plays like he does. Where Henry was more the ground and pound. He's going to run it straight through you. And I mean, Spears can do it, but not to the level that Henry was. So I think that is the big reason why we got him. And I think it's gonna like you said, Massey. I agree. They're gonna play off of each other, man. They're gonna make each other better as they move along. And then Titans Kong says Tajay is going to be a better version of Reggie Bush, in my opinion. He's going to be our 2K, CJ 2K of
Hey,
the
boy.
future,
Hey.
in my opinion.
You keep talking like this, you're gonna be the next special guest on One Shakin' Titans, boy. Good
Not tell
Lord.
you what,
We're gonna
Titans
have,
Kong.
we're gonna have a section just for you, and it's gonna be like Titan Kong's hot takes, and then you can just hop on the show to give us your hot takes because those are some crazy ones coming in, man. You just firing away, man. That's awesome.
And then Titans Kong with one more comment here. He says Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson is an overrated duo. The Ravens are still banking on Lamar Jackson and will not utilize Derrick Henry how the Titans did. He's just a security blanket for their run game. Now, with that being said, I see where you're coming from, Titans Kong, but let's also remember that the year that we faced them in the playoffs, they had the number one ranked offense for rushing yards, where we had the number one ranked running back. Now they have the number one ranked running back and the number one ranked rushing offense. So I think
they still have the number one ranked rushing offense?
I believe so. Lamar Jackson still utilizes his legs, but the one area I've seen Lamar improve on over the last 2 to 3 years is his arm, being able to make plays with his arms down the field. To see him grow as a quarterback is really phenomenal. So I do want to tip my hats off to him. Guys, if you know me personally, I am a quarterback person through and through. I love watching quarterback play. Like I love it. It's something that excites me, that I love to do deep dives on. I'll stay up all night long just studying film, breaking down quarterbacks and their gameplay. It's something I'm overly passionate about. So I think yeah, they might be overrated a little bit, but I think it is something that you're going to have to definitely keep your eye on this year for sure. What's your opinions on that?
Yeah, Titan Kong has a really good point, but at the same time, it actually makes a lot of sense. It could be that get over the hump thing for what Lamar has done so far in the NFL. The closest thing, and don't come at me in the comments or do, but the closest comparison that Lamar's ever had in that backfield to a Derrick Henry was Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram. And no, that's not even a close comparison in itself. Mark Ingram was a great running back or whatever the case is, but he's no Derrick Henry. Now, that being said, neither one of them are in their prime anymore. You know what I'm saying? Derrick's not in his prime anymore, and I'm not taking anything away from that man. Good luck to him and things like that, but he's not a Tennessee Titan anymore. So I gotta say, it very well could be that missing piece for the Baltimore Ravens is that big linebacker monster of a man right there beside Lamar Jackson in shotgun or RPOs and things like that. Just like Leo Gentry said in our comments, he said those RPOs are going to be crazy. And
I
he's
agree.
not wrong, man. I believe they're going to be crazy. And another thing that I think we forgot to mention while Blue was still on is they're going to be even crazier because of the new no hip tackle rule.
Yeah.
That's going to bring in
Talk about it.
a huge factor, especially for, like I just said, a linebacker sized running back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's already hard to tackle him,
Dude.
but now you take away one of the tackles that they use for bigger running backs and things like that, or just to get them down. So the cards are really in the Ravens' favor right now. So I hope Titan Kong is right about that. I feel like, it's a very big possibility on both sides. They could be overrated. It could look all great on paper. They get out there together and things just don't work out. O-line crumbles. Defense keeps letting the other team put up points, this, that, and the third. Or they very well could just needed that one monster piece, which that monster is Derrick Henry at running back, right beside Lamar Jackson. So it's really up in the air right there.
So, to kind of touch on both sides of this real quick, you look at Eddie George, and when he left the Titans and went to Dallas, he didn't have a successful year, and the very next year ended up retiring from the NFL. History shows us that sometimes that's the case. But then again, you look at players like Adrian Peterson, who, at old age still found success, with other teams.
I was going to say Adrian James.
Yeah. I'll also say this. Guys, let's not forget what Derrick Henry had in front of him last year. He had, at best, a junior pro league, or not even, I wouldn't even consider it a junior pro league offensive line. It was probably, in my opinion, the worst offensive line in the National Football League last year that he had in front of him to open up holes, which were never opened. And, he still had a few games where he was breaking through and able to run for these good chunks of yards. Now he's playing behind a solid offensive line. Excuse me. Now he's playing behind another solid offensive line. He has a quarterback who not only can utilize his legs and create plays down the field with his legs and his arm talent, but, I think, Derrick Henry fell into the perfect storm with the Ravens. I think, it's what the Titans were hoping to do last year, but unfortunately, under the Mike Vrabel, coaching staff, wasn't able to achieve. Henry is a player like the NFL has never seen before. We've said that all year last year, and the years before that. Like, Henry is something special to the National Football League, and I think you have to when you're talking about being overrated or not overrated, you have to give him his due when it comes to what he can do on the field. You know what I'm saying? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you definitely got to give Henry his flowers. I mean, it wasn't just an on paper thing for him, man. This has been like this since his Pee-wee days. He was always the bigger guy, and for him to be the running back on the team, there's no telling what kind of looks he got as growing up, other than like, oh my God, that's crazy. Didn't think that big of a guy at such a young age can move that fast. That's another factor that a lot of people are forgetting about Derrick Henry. Not only does he have the linebacker build and a really strong guy, but he has the speed factor, or at least he had it at one point. We didn't necessarily get to see that all that much the last couple of seasons, obviously because of our O-line struggles. But if he gets those wide open holes with the Ravens and he gets downfield, we're gonna get to see another glimpse of what he can do as far as getting downfield, open field, and things like that. So yeah, by all means, you got to give the man his flowers. It would be crazy to sit here and talk any kind of bad about Henry or, it's over for him. His best days were in Tennessee. Yeah. Well, yeah, his first 8 seasons were in Tennessee. So yeah, but as a fan of good players in general, I wish all the luck to Henry until it comes to the Tennessee Titans facing the Baltimore Ravens, because, he's not a Titan anymore,
hopefully,
like I already said.
Hopefully
so, yeah,
he don't turn one of our defensive players into a lead blocker.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
You want to
But
talk
yeah, I mean,
about
to answer
karma?
your
That
question,
would be the ultimate karma from the Ravens to the Titans, and
right.
I will probably break my 75-inch TV, and my wife will make me sleep on the couch for the rest of the year. So, let's hope that don't
Worth
happen.
it. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, 100%, man. My opinion on that, you definitely got to give that man his flowers. But at the same time, if he don't have them right pieces of the puzzle and things like that, even with the Ravens, it all looks good. Just like we were talking about that at the beginning of this show, it all looks great on paper for the Ravens. That just checked the last box that they needed a green check in my opinion. So, now it's only time will tell. Will they do it on the field? The no hip tackle is going to come into effect. These new, how the referees are going to be is going to come into effect. There's so many different things that are going to come into effect on whether or not Derrick Henry is going to be successful with the Ravens, or are the Ravens going to be successful with Derrick Henry? And I know that probably sounds crazy, but that's exactly what it is. He can have a successful season, and the Ravens don't really make it that far, or the whole Ravens as an organization can have a really successful season, and Henry's stats aren't like, oh my God, 2K crazy. He was getting 200 plus a game and things like that. So,
Yep,
yeah, man, you got to give the man his flowers for sure.
for sure.
Come back is
Well then, guys, kind of getting us back on topic as we're getting ready to
Not
close
really
out
recognizing
this
that,
episode
Junior.
of What's Shakin' Titans. Our last two prediction is going to be Titans Offensive Player of the Year prediction, as well as Titans Defensive Player of the Year predictions. We didn't get Blue or Quincy's predictions on these two categories because we were going to do them live. So it's just going to be mine and Massey's. Let us know in the comment who you got as the Offensive Player of the Year for the Titans, as well as Defensive Player of the Year for the Titans. Massey, I'll let you start out, man. Who do you got for Offensive Player of the Year?
I got Will Levis going for Offensive Player of the Year.
Will Levis. All right. For me,
What about you?
I'm going to have J.C. Latham as Offensive Player of the Year.
I like it.
I say Latham at most gives away one sack this season.
I like it a lot. He is a monster.
He is a beast. I think Titans fans are going to be very happy with how much or what kind of player that they got in J.C. Latham. Definitely a great pick in my opinion so far through what we've seen throughout OTAs and minicamp.
Yeah,
who do you got for Defensive Player of the Year?
I think this one's pretty obvious, guys. I got to go with Big Jeff. He's only gotten better each year. As long as that man stays away from injuries, I feel like it's a no-brainer. Big Jeff has all the potential, but aside from Snead, but I think Big Jeff is the best defensive player that we have on the roster right now, and that's mainly because I've seen what Big Jeff can do, and also he plays on the line. Now Snead has a harder job and things like that, but Jeff knows how to get to the quarterback. So I say no question in my in my opinion. Big Jeff wins Defensive Player of the Year. Gary, what about you, man? What you think?
Oh man, I love that. That's where I was heading. Big Jeff was going to be my answer. I'll say this, guys. Okay, and just hear me out. If Trevondre Sweat, oh my goodness, I'll get it out eventually. If Trevondre Sweat drops weight, then I think he's going to give Big Jeff a run for the money for Titans Defensive Player of the Year. This is a guy who has speed. We all know that he has strength, and at his size that he is right now, he still has speed. So if he loses weight, he's only going to be even faster. He's a behemoth of a guy. He's another Big Jeff, to say the least. So I think it comes down to either Sweat or Simmons, and I think it's going to be a really good back and forth between them two. So I'm really excited to see that. I want to go to our comments real quick. Kong has Offensive Player of the Year, Will Levis, Defensive Player of the Year, Jeffrey Simmons, Offensive Rookie of the Year, J.C. Latham, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Cedric Gray. I like that. I really like that. I think definitely on the side of a hot take there for Cedric Gray, but I could see it. And then he said,
Yeah.
You stay here. Tell me, Romeo tried to go over?
You
begging
there?
not to embarrass them. Hot takes, we sweep them. So he's talking. Okay, there it is. Sorry, my chat was glitching out for a second. He says Texans are going to be begging us not to embarrass them. Hot take? Question mark. We sweep them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't consider, and no offense, I appreciate you giving your opinion on that, but a hot take for us to sweep them, in my opinion, I don't think that's a hot take because, I mean, yeah, what they did last year, CJ Stroud, the luck played into that, in my opinion. I'm not trying to be a hater or whatever. Yeah, I am. It's the Texans. Yes, I'm hating on them. I think that's not a hot take. I feel like the Titans are definitely a better team than the Texans. But like I said, Titan Kong, don't take it like personally. I just personally don't think that's a hot take because I think that's actually wouldn't be surprising, in my opinion. I don't think we would be surprised.
I gotta kind of agree with Kong on this one. I think that it is definitely a hot take. I think if you look at the facts, the fact of the matter is the Texans are a proven entity right now, where the Titans are unproven. How can we have been a proven team when it's a first-year head coach, when it's the first year that this defense is going to play in a new scheme, the first year the offense is going to play in a new scheme. We don't know what's going to come. Yes, it looks great on paper, but we don't know how it's all going to play out at the end. So I have to agree with what Kong was saying there. Hey, and we got some more people in the comments. Do you got your phone with you? You want to read some of these? Oh, you're muted, I think. Yeah, you muted yourself, bro.
Love the we love the content.
Hey.
We love the comments. Let's go. We got Titan Jones in the building. He said Titan Jones in the house. I wouldn't say 1 year is proven. Yeah, man. What up, Titan Jones? Good to see you, man. Appreciate you tuning in. What were you gonna say, Gary?
I was saying you were muted that whole time, bro. I had to unmute you.
Did you unmute me?
Yeah.
All right, I'll go back over it. All right, so Titan Kong said, I hate their owner so bad. We are the better team. I agree. My apologies. Titan Kong, you don't have to apologize, man. We love the interaction with everybody. We don't always have to agree. So I love the take, man. I'm always just going to say how I feel about it, too. And then we got Titan Jones in the building. He said, Titans Jones in the house. And then he also said, I wouldn't say 1 year is proven. I'm not exactly sure what he's talking about on the 1 year is proven.
I think he might have misunderstood what I was talking about when I was talking about it being year one. We weren't talking about it being proven. I was saying, it's with it being their first year, there's nothing for us to go off of. We got a new coaching scheme. It's what games do you have with this coaching staff, with this playbook, with these players is, what I mean. And if I'm wrong on what you were saying, please let me know, because I am a little confused. Oh, okay, I got you.
The Texans were proven.
Yeah. No, I'm saying that just in the aspect of, they have something on film where this new team doesn't. So yeah, of course, it's not proven yet. It's what you can do after that first year that really counts. Can you repeat that success? Can you build together consistency year in and year out? So yeah, I agree. Yeah, 1 year doesn't prove anything.
And, all right, so Titans Jones, while we're on this subject, and your opinion obviously matters. So, do you think it's a hot take that the Titans sweep the Texans this coming season, or do you think that is an actual hot take and it would be kind of shocking, to everybody else? And while we're waiting on that comment to come back through, Titan Kong also said, I will be at the Bears game week 1 of the regular season. That's awesome. He also said Caleb Williams' first throw is going to be to Legarius Sneed of the Tennessee Titans. I love that take, man. That's
Dude,
awesome.
I do too.
And if you're right, dude, I'll buy you dinner. How about that?
Bro, you might end up
Everybody
having to
gets
buy
a
2
dinner.
dinners this year.
Titans Jones back with another comment. Says sophomore slumps are a real thing in the NFL. Yeah,
Yep,
I
yep,
agree. I
yep.
agree.
I was just talking about that earlier on in the podcast when we were talking about Josh Wiley.
Yeah, and I also brought it up about Spears as well.
Spears, yeah. Let us know who what would be we're right now we're in our final topics, which is our hot takes and our predictions. So to kind of review over what we talked about, we gave our Will Levis stat predictions. I think Massey's was what was it? 3,000,
38,
38
3,800,
passing yards,
30 passing touchdowns, and then 10 interceptions.
Yeah, and then I have 2,785 passing yards with 18 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. What would be your record prediction off of what you've seen and hear so far? Let us know. And while they do that, Massey, I got one more question for you, bro.
Let's go.
Brian Callahan, Coach of the Year.
Yes, are you
Possibility?
saying yes or no? Or
Is it a possibility in your mind?
yeah, I think it is, especially with what I went with on my record prediction at 11-6. I think for a first-year coach with all the new things that are happening, completely new era in Tennessee. Yeah, man. If you make, I'll put it this way: if we end up making a deep playoff run, don't even necessarily have to make it to the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl, but if we make a third round, 2-3 round playoff run, then how could you not consider Brian Callahan as head coach of the year, man? Because look at all the things. All right, so to go back, I'll bring Vrabel up again. But the year Vrabel won Coach of the Year, we had the most injured players in one season,
Facts.
and still ended up going to the AFC Championship. So, yeah, 100%. I think if we get all the way deep run, first year as Brian Callahan under head coaching position, 100%, man. I feel like that's a runaway. I don't know. I don't know of any other head coach that would be able to be in the running if we're able to do that with a first year head coach. And while we have a second, guys, Titan Jones, we let CJ be the next Andrew Luck to the Titans. We got to at least split one. We can let them go 4-0 on us. Okay. So, yeah. Right? I think what he meant by split is the 4-game series. They won the last two last year. We win the 2 this year. So it would be split. It would be 2-2 and versus 4-0. Yeah. Yep, we talked about that at the beginning of the show because we were talking about jokes, and I said, speaking of jokes, did anybody see what the Jaguars just did over there, extending Trevor Lawrence? That's pretty damn funny if you ask me. It's tight. It's Titan Jones. You know who Titan Jones is from Rated R Titans. And you keep saying she, bro. It's a guy. It's Titan Jones. Uh-oh. They said they can't hear you.
Hey,
I'm
y'all,
sorry.
stop it.
Were you muted?
I was muted. That's so stupid. Yeah. So I was I was correcting him. I kept saying, bro, it says we can't. Yeah, I agree with Titans Jones. We can't let CJ become the next Andrew Luck. We have to split that, the games this year, and I think that's definitely in the realm of possibility. I don't see us sweeping the Texans this year, but I think we definitely are in the realm of possibilities of splitting. The good news is, like I said earlier, while I was muted, unfortunately, like a dum-dum, sorry. The good news is we have a player called L'Jarius Sneed, who even Patrick Mahomes struggles playing against. So, I think that's something we really don't have to worry about. But I do get where Jones is coming from. Great point by him. And then
Hey, hold on. I know what you about to read. Titan Kong, look at my face. Look at my face. Look at my face. Malik Willis is not better than Trevor Lawrence. And I'm sorry, I know Trevor Lawrence is a Jaguar.
Good sir. I have to disagree. I think Trevor Lawrence is butt wash.
All right, look, I'll just put it like this. If Malik Willis was better than Trevor Lawrence, we would have never got to see what Will Levis could do for us last
Not under
season.
Mike Vrabel, we wouldn't have.
Come
Now, here's
Come
what
on,
I will say. If you take Malik Willis and you put him on a team like the Baltimore Ravens, or a team that values their quarterback and allowing their quarterback to play to their abilities, then we would have seen a completely different Malik Willis. I think, and this was another hot take that I was on the fence of going with earlier, but I think Malik Willis will win QB2. And I didn't go with that because I think that's more likely to happen than for Traylon Burks to win Comeback Player of the Year. I think, you look at the coach we have in Brian Callahan, who, will do what's best for that player and pull out what that player is good at and develop that from there. And then all the other stuff will come along as they continue to work and develop. Now, do I think Malik Willis can top Will Levis? No. I think Will Levis is the better quarterback of the two right now. But do I think if Malik Willis gets the opportunity to get a good coach and to get developed, can he ever achieve a QB1 role? Yes, I definitely can see that. But I don't think it's going to be with the Titans. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. I disagree. I don't think you know this, Gary. I've said this from the beginning. I didn't think Malik would be anything other than a backup quarterback in the NFL. That's not hating on him. That's just my personal opinion. And kudos to you, man. I agree with you. Maybe it'll be on another team. I'll agree with that part. But yeah, he'll never be in a position to do that for the Titans.
He has the traits to be a starting quarterback, and that's what you want. Just like Will Levis has the traits to be an elite quarterback. Both of them are unproven in each of their individual categories. Where Malik Willis has to prove that he has what it takes to even be a starting quarterback, that doesn't put him on an elite level. Where Will Levis has to prove to us that he has what it takes to be an elite quarterback, and it comes down to coaching and putting your players into the right situations. Malik Willis has the ability to make plays with his legs. If that ability isn't coached out of him, depending on the coaches that he has. And, from year one, that's the number one thing we seen Mike Vrabel trying to do with Malik Willis was, form him into a pocket passing quarterback, which, Malik Willis came from a school where it was just a one-read pass. Most of his positive plays came off of his legs. So I think we just misutilized him, and that's why everybody has such a negative outlook on him, is because we haven't put him in a situation that is successful for him. Once again, do I think that even if we put him in that successful situation, he will be able to outplay someone like Will Levis or Patrick Mahomes? No. But do I think he has what it takes to be a possible starter? Yes, somewhere in the NFL. I definitely do. But you have to put him in the right situation. And then lastly here, before we end our stream, Massey, is there anything in particular you'd like to say or get out?
Oh man, just so glad to be back. I know we've been taking kind of breaks here and there, but it's like we never left, man. I feel right at home. I'm glad to get back on here and conversate with you guys and bring up good topics and get the energy flowing, man. Get this two-tone blue energy in the air. Guys, we are going to be coming at y'all with some crazy content leading into the season, especially when the season starts. Super excited to keep on being a part of a great podcast on What's Shakin' Titans, guys. And like I said before, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share this thing out to your friends, your family, your enemies, people you don't like, especially share it out to them, because that means that you're going to be blowing up their phone, and that's just funny. So appreciate you guys so much. And again, I mentioned it earlier in the show, to all the real fathers out there that are out here busting their ass every single day to provide for their kids and their families. Happy Father's Day to you, man. I may not see you tomorrow, may not talk to you tomorrow, but keep kicking life's ass and just know that you're not alone, man. We appreciate the hell out of you. I love my dad. Thank you, Dad, for always being awesome. Happy early Father's Day. Gary, happy Father's Day to you, man. And happy Father's Day to all the men out there really doing this thing.
Yeah, most definitely. Everything Massey says, man. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Doing what they need to do. Being a husband or a father. Providing for their families. Taking care of their kids, raising them upright. We just want to say thank you for what you do. You mean a lot to everybody. Happy Father's Day, Massey. Happy Father's Day to you, Blue. If you're still watching, happy Father's Day to you. Everybody in the comments, happy Father's Day to y'all. With that being said, guys, we want to let y'all know that today's episode of What's Shakin' Titans is powered by Bailey's Barbecue. Bailey's Barbecue, smoking good barbecue. And then, guys, like we just said, tomorrow is Father's Day. If you're in the Dixon area, which is about 45 or anywhere between 35 to 40 minutes south of Nashville, if you're in the Dixon area and you're looking for some really good Mexican food, go to Las Fajitas in Dixon, Tennessee. Tomorrow, all fathers eat 50% off. They have great food, great drinks, great environment. Tell the owner that Gary Bailey from What's Shakin' Titans sent y'all there. She'll hook y'all up. She's a great person. And then, guys, if you are a Temu user and you want to receive 30% off, you can use code TAN83620 and get 30% off site-wide. But if you're new to Temu and don't have an account, if you use the link in the description below, you'll receive a $100 coupon bundle. So you can pick up a bunch of different items and it will take off a total of $100 off your total order. So definitely use that code, guys. Finally, if you're in the Dixon area yet again and you're looking for something other than Mexican, you want some burgers or some breakfast stuff, definitely look up Luke's Breakfast and Burgers. They have been rated one of the top burger places in all of Tennessee. Guys, they're located at 255 Dixon Plaza Drive, Dixon, Tennessee, 37055. Their business hours are on the image above, so definitely check that out. They have some great service there, great food, awesome environment. If you're into doing food challenges, definitely check out their Heart Attack Challenge. It's a behemoth of a burger, and if you can complete it, hats off to you. With that being said, guys, want to thank you for taking the time once again, tuning in to What's Shakin' Titans and the TwinTitans Sport Network. We want to thank them for hosting this podcast, as well as Sport Nation Nashville, the 615 podcast, What's Still Shaking Ladies, which is to come. Guys, and the Bryson Haley Show are all a part of the Twin Titans Sport Network. Definitely, you can find a link to their YouTube channel in the description below, or you can just search at Twin Titans Sport Network on YouTube. Go to their playlist. You'll find all the podcasts there that are a part of this network, and you can definitely check out all their recent episodes and stuff. Guys, What's Shakin' Titans will be live again the week of the 4th of July. We'll either do a special episode on the 4th of July, in honor of Steve McNair, or we will come live that Saturday on the 6th. Stay tuned to our Facebook post to figure out exactly which day and what time we're going live. Guys, once again, we thank you. We love you. Hope you all have a blessed and wonderful day. With that being said, I'm Gary Bailey. That's Matthew Too Savage. Peace out. Tighten up. We love you.
Peace out. Tighten up.
I'm so gone, no I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I